Chapter 373. One by one, the victims came out to complain about their tragic experiences. They spoke of how they were forced to join the Pingtian sect. All of them were extremely aggrieved, and everyone could empathize with them. Cheating, kidnapping, and beating people up. How shameless. No wonder they can pull so many people into the Pingtian sect. Being forced like this, they have to join any student they meet. The most despicable ones are the students who join the Pingtian sect. Everyone has to pull 2 newcomers in. If this continues, the entire Yanhuang University will be filled with them. No wonder they reached 30,000 members in just 2 days. If they were given a few more days, would there still be people left in our martial arts clubs? How is this a martial arts club? It's clearly a criminal gang. Everyone is a criminal. If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. Such a good martial arts club has been turned into a mess by Xia Ping. After a long time, who would want to join other clubs? Everyone has been forced to join the Pingtian sect. There's no room for us martial arts clubs to survive. Immediately, countless martial arts club members were in an uproar. They immediately understood why the Pingtian sect had developed so quickly. In just 2 days, they had gained 30,000 members and were known as the #1 club in Yanhuang University. If they were forced to join like this, given enough time, they would be able to pull in as many people as they wanted. Immediately report this to the school authorities. Tell them that the Pingtian sect is using illegal methods to pull in members. If this continues, our club will be completely finished. If we let such a black sheep stay in Yanhuang University, there will be no chance for us to make a name for ourselves. If we don't show our power, they'll really think we're sick cats. We must teach Xia Ping a lesson this time. Many big shots of the clubs were filled with righteous indignation. If stealing the plaque was a slap in their faces, then it was a threat to the very foundation of their club's survival. If everyone in their club was pulled away, then the entire martial arts club would fall apart and cease to exist. Therefore, they would definitely not sit idly by and let Xia Ping and the others continue to run amok here. Without hesitation, the big shots of the clubs went to the school administration office to complain, hoping to ban the evil martial arts club called the Pingtian sect and stop them from continuing to do evil here. Feng Hetang and the others quickly heard the news and went to the administration office to refute it. Xia Ping did not show up personally, leaving all these matters to Feng Hetang and the others to handle. I heard that your Pingtian sect has been stirring up trouble and committing all sorts of crimes in the school. You've been using all sorts of illegal methods to recruit other students into the martial arts club. Is that true? The head of the academic affairs office was having a headache. This was the first time he had seen such a troublemaking student. Not only did he not stop after destroying hundreds of clubs, he even established a martial arts club and snatched away many students. This was clearly a ruthless extermination. There's no such thing. Feng Hetang said righteously, it's all because of these losers. They're slandering us maliciously. They're jealous that our Pingtian sect is developing like the midday sun, so they're spreading rumors everywhere to slander us. I believe that you, Dean of Academic Affairs, are a smart man. You must be able to see the shameless, despicable, and insidious mentality of these stray dogs. They just can't stand to see others doing well. Hearing this, the big shots of the martial arts clubs were furious. Damn fatty, who are you talking about? Who's a stray dog? Watch your tone. You're accusing us of malicious slander. Slander my ass. You swindled, beat, and used these shameless methods to rope in members. Is that wrong? That's right. We have many witnesses here who can prove that you've used illegal methods to compete maliciously and deliberately disrupted the school's order. In the long run, the school will no longer be a school. All of them glared at Feng Hetang and the others. They wanted to eat the Pingtian sect alive. Is this the evidence you're talking about? Bullshit. You're making things up. Feng Hetang denied all the accusations. I admit that we did use some methods to recruit members, but they're just for novelty. There's nothing against the school's rules. It's just like doing business. You can only succeed by winning by surprise. Who said that you can only do business honestly and others aren't allowed to advertise? Immediately, the group of people was stunned. They were also rather dumbfounded. It was indeed as Feng Hatang said. Although their methods were despicable, there was nothing illegal about them. First, they had used the buy one get 10 free marketing method to attract students and trick them into joining the Pingtian sect. However, thinking about it carefully, it was just a misunderstanding from the students. From the beginning to the end, they had never said that they would give 10 pills. Moreover, the students had filled in the application willingly without any reluctance. If there was anything wrong, it could only be said that the students had misunderstood. It had nothing to do with the Pingtian sect. As for the so-called scam, it was just the people involved talking nonsense. There were no witnesses around, so who could say that it was scam? Couldn't it be a false accusation? In this world, it was not impossible for some people to bribe witnesses to give false testimony. As for the acts of beating up students and forcing them to join, according to Feng Hatang and the others' explanation, it was purely martial arts practice. It was part of the Pingtian sect's earnest teaching and not bullying. The group of society elders was so angry that smoke was coming out of their noses. What did they mean by distorting the truth? What did they mean by making the dead come to life? That was exactly what they meant by the shameless Pingtian sect. It was clearly these bastards who had used all sorts of illegal methods to force some students to join the Pingtian sect. Now, they were saying that they were jealous and framing them. How shameless! They had never seen such shameless people in their lives. Hearing this, the teaching director was also speechless. If they really wanted to investigate, the Pingtian sect's methods were very problematic. If every society did the same, the world would definitely be in chaos. However, the Pingtian sect walked the line between light and darkness. They had found a loophole in the school rules, so they could not punish the Pingtian sect. Therefore, the Pingtian sect had nothing to fear. In the end, after thinking for a long time, the teaching director finally came to a decision. The Pingtian sect was not allowed to use illegal methods to recruit members in the future. The students had to join voluntarily. The other martial arts societies could not follow suit. As for this matter, even if it ended like this, it still acknowledged the Pingtian sect's legitimacy in recruiting members. The people from the other martial arts societies were so angry that their teeth itched. They had caused such a big incident, but the Pingtian sect was not punished. They were really dissatisfied and very unconvinced. However, the teaching director had already given the order, so they could not do anything. Feng Hatang and the others complained that the punishment was unfair and that they were bullying others too much. They were not satisfied with the decision, but they were all secretly happy. Even if they could not use such methods to recruit members in the future. Chapter 374. In the hall of a villa in the elite area of Yanhuang University, 3 or 4 people were discussing something. One of them looked similar to Su Jianhua. He was Su Jianhua's brother, Su Yunlong, an expert at the second heaven of the martial master realm. His body exuded a condensed aura. Just sitting in a chair, he could make people feel a strong sense of oppression, as if there was a terrifying fierce beast hibernating in his body. Once it broke out, it would be earth-shattering. The aura of the other 3 people was also extremely strong. They were all experts at the first heaven of the martial master realm. They had transformed their genuine chi into genuine essence, and every move they made had the aura of a master. Such a powerhouse would be a powerhouse in Yanhuang Star, strong enough to command an army. Even in the cloud realm, he would be regarded as a master, strong enough to fight 1,000 enemies. They were all members of the Su family and could be regarded as Su Yunlong's uncles. They were all over 40 or 50 years old. They were called Su Boan, Su Bou, and Su Buchuan. Yunlong, this time we are here to talk about the scourge Xia Ping. I wonder if you know anything about that kid? The first to speak was Su Bowen. He was the backbone of these three people. He looked cultured and refined, but he was actually sinister and ruthless in secret. He had a belly full of poisonous schemes, and he could be said to be the Su family's think tank. Of course I know. Su Yunlong's eyes flickered. Recently, this kid has caused trouble in Yanhuang University and harmed many people. At present, there is no one in the entire Yanhuang University who is more famous than him. Not to mention his record of single-handedly defeating hundreds of clubs, just the fact that he formed a martial arts club with tens of thousands of people in a few days shows that he is not only a reckless man but also extremely wise. He was not the kind of person who would not go out. Naturally, he knew what Xia Ping had done in Yanhuang University recently. Very famous. That's a little troublesome. Su Bowen's face was gloomy. This kid killed several geniuses of my Su family and is my sworn enemy. The more famous he is, the more disadvantageous it is for my Su family. He has already caused trouble in Yanhuang University when he is only in the martial warrior realm. If he is promoted to the martial master realm or even the grand master realm, our Su family will have to obey him in the future. He clenched his fists, feeling very unhappy. The more he knew about what Xia Ping had done, the greater the sense of crisis in his heart. If this continued, that brat would definitely become a king-level powerhouse. At that time, their Su family would be finished. There's also your brother Su Jianhua. Su Bo also said, he seemed to have brought a lot of people to deal with Xia Ping and chased him all the way to the gloomy corpse mountain range. However, a month has passed and there is still no news of him. He's probably dead. We're guessing that he was probably killed by Xia Ping. His entire army was wiped out. He clenched his fists tightly, and a murderous aura emanated from his body. His heart was in turmoil. Although we don't have any evidence, this matter is definitely related to Xia Ping. Su Buchuan gritted his teeth. I've also found some news. The Lu family's descendant Lu Weihai had a conflict with Xia Ping in Yin Corp City, and Lu Weihai even secretly sent people to deal with him, killing their way into the Yin Corp's mountain range. But he hasn't come out yet. The Lu family is furious, but they can't find the murderer. They can't even find the corpse. In the end, they can only leave it unsettled. I feel that this matter is definitely related to that little bastard Xia Ping. Su Yunlong, what do you think of this matter? He looked at Su Yunlong. I'm not interested in this matter. Su Yunlong lightly said. His face did not have any expression. With a pang, Su Buchuan suddenly stood up. His body trembled and the red wooden chair beside him was shattered to pieces. He angrily stared at Su Yunlong. Su Yunlong, what do you mean by this? Your brother is dead, possibly killed by that little bastard Xia Ping, and you dare say you're not interested? Are you still a member of my Su family? Don't you have any family spirit? He flew into a rage. Of course I'm a member of the Su family, but that idiot brother of mine overestimated himself. If he wanted to find trouble with others, he should have already thought of this outcome. He didn't have the strength to learn how to take revenge, he died in vain. Su Yunlong was not moved at all by his brother's death, his tone was indifferent. You. Su Buchuan gritted his teeth. He was half dead from anger, wanting to make a move. But before he could make a move, Su Yunlong's expression was indifferent. He didn't see how he did it, but the temperature of the entire room dropped sharply. Starting from his feet, the ground instantly froze, and the chills spread quickly. In just a breath's time, Su Buchuan's feet were completely frozen, and even a gust of cold air invaded his lungs. Stop, Yunlong. Seeing this, the two people next to him were shocked and immediately told Su Yunlong to stop. Hearing this, Su Yunlong also stopped and looked at Su Buchuan indifferently. Uncle Buchuan, in this world, the fist is the truth. Strength is the only thing that is truly reliable. What family, what relationship, what power, what tricks, in the face of absolute strength, they are all scum. No matter how you struggle, when you meet a king-level powerhouse, the other party can turn the Su family into powder with just an order. Don't you understand this? Each of you is self-righteous, immersed in the glory of your family, not thinking about making progress, and stubborn. This is why the Su family has not been able to leave planet Yanhuang so far. You are old, and now is the era of the young. His tone was indifferent, but it contained an unquestionable meaning. You. Su Buchuan gritted his teeth, but his heart was also shocked. Su Yunlong was only at the second heaven of the martial master realm, which was only a small realm higher than him, but he did not even need to make a move to subdue him. If Su Yunlong wanted to make a move, he could kill him in one breath. Such a gap in strength made him feel despair. Yunlong, you are capable now. You have fur, wings, and you have grown up. You even cultivated the king-level cultivation method Xianming Sutra and cultivated the power of ice attribute true qi. Every move you make contains the power of heaven. The few of us are no match for you. Su Boan spoke in a low voice. But don't forget that you're still a member of my Su clan in the end, and your current accomplishments are all thanks to the resources my Su clan bestowed upon you. Could it be that you can't do something for the Su clan? Doing something is natural. After all, I am still a member of the Su family. Su Yunlong said indifferently, but you are too narrow-minded. You have stayed on planet Yanhuang for too long, and you have forgotten what dominates this world. Now that I have made a move, I just want to teach you this. Of course, I will still kill that Xia Ping. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Su Boan raised his eyebrows. Why? Aren't you unwilling to make a move? Chapter 375. His secret. Hearing this, Su Boan and the others looked at Su Yunlong in confusion. Didn't you notice one thing? That kid's rate of improvement is simply too fast. Su Yunlong said coldly, when he entered the university, he was only at the fifth sky of the martial artist realm. But today, in just a short period of time, he actually advanced to the eighth sky of the martial artist realm. It's fine if it's just the speed of improvement, but he actually cultivated a powerful protective technique. Even a martial artist one level higher than him can't break through his defense. According to my investigation, after entering Yanhuang University, he didn't even step into the library and didn't exchange for any king-level techniques. What does this mean? It means that he must have a big secret and learned a powerful technique from somewhere. That's why he doesn't care about the martial arts manuals of Yanhuang University and improved so fast. He pointed out the reason why he was curious about Xia Ping's secret. Indeed, we also suspect this. Su Boan couldn't help but nod, that kid is just a trash from the city enforcement. He was originally ordinary, but since the third year of high school, he suddenly improved by leaps and bounds and became a genius that attracted the attention of the world. He was even recruited by the giant company. No matter how I think about it, it's very strange. We suspect that the little bastard had some amazing encounter, but no matter how we investigate, we can't find anything fishy. It's very strange. He was also very confused about this matter, but no matter how much effort the Su family put in, even investigating everyone around Xia Ping, paying attention to any clues, they couldn't find anything useful. As time passed, they gave up on investigating. It's fine if we can't find anything, we can just ask directly, Su Yunlong said calmly. Su Bo was shocked. What do you mean by that? Are you going to deal with that little bastard? This is a bit troublesome. This is Yanhuang University, there are surveillance everywhere. Also, he has the protection of the giant company. This is a bit tricky. They also wanted to kill Xia Ping, but in Yanhuang University, they couldn't do it at all. Once they did, they would be immediately monitored and their Su family would be finished. What are you afraid of? Su Yunlong sneered, I'm an elite student of Yanhuang University. I have special privileges in the university. Even if I go a little overboard, no one can do anything to me. Tomorrow, I'll go see that Xia Ping. call him out and interrogate him face to face. I really want to see what kind of 3 heads and 6 arms he has, and what kind of shocking secrets he is hiding. A look of greed appeared in his eyes. If he could obtain the secret of Xia Ping's rapid improvement, it might help him break through to a higher realm of martial arts. This kind of greed was the direct reason why he dealt with Xia Ping. Even if his brother was killed, he wouldn't care in the slightest. Good, very good. With you, Yunlong, taking action, there will be no mistakes. Hearing this, Su Buchuan's anger immediately dissipated. As long as Su Yunlong agreed to help Xia Ping, that brat would be dead for sure. He knew what kind of person Su Yunlong was. He was known as the #1 genius of the Su family. He was vicious and merciless, and even more feared than Su Yuntian. With such a person personally taking action, there was no reason for Xia Ping to not die. But tomorrow seems to be the time for the opening of the Cloud Mountain Range. According to that brat's character, he will definitely participate. Su Bowen's eyes flickered. He knew a lot of information. If he enters the Cloud Mountain Range, obtains a huge fortuitous encounter, breaks through to the Martial Master realm, and becomes an elite student, then I'm afraid it will be much more difficult for us to deal with him. Once one reached the Martial Master realm, whether it was status or strength, there would be earth-shaking changes. Even the Su family would have to feel a trace of fear towards a Martial Master realm expert. Even the school would pay more attention to elite students. If one died, there would be a thorough investigation. Su Bo and Su Buchuan's hearts tightened. They knew that they absolutely could not let Xia Ping continue to advance like this. Otherwise, it would be even more difficult to deal with him. So when he went to the Cloud Mountain Range, I stopped him. He still wanted to enter the Cloud Mountain Range to obtain a fortuitous encounter and advance to the Martial Master realm. I did not give him this chance at all. Su Yunlong sneered and clenched his fist, revealing a ruthless expression. At this moment, the sky was just beginning to brighten. In a villa in the ordinary student district, Xia Ping sat in a quiet room in the villa. Over the past 3 days, he had not paid attention to the Pingtian sect. He had focused on cultivating and consumed the 15 dragon tiger pills that he had bought. These pills immediately transformed into a large amount of true qi that surged into his 9th acupoint, filling it up continuously. Even when the true qi was extremely dense, it transformed into a large amount of true qi. The true qi in the depths of his dantian was dark red, like a cluster of flames burning inside his dantian. If he could deliver 10 punches with the strength of a martial master before, then he could deliver 20 punches now. The power of his true qi had doubled. Under the burning of the dark red flames, his body was continuously tempered, making it even stronger. It was like steel that had been tempered thousands of times. Every move he made contained great strength. Boom! When the 15 dragon tiger rui pills fused into his body and were refined by the pure yang immortal incantation in his body, the fiery Jin Yuan power vibrated, and a dark red flame appeared on his body. The temperature of the room rose sharply, and even the air seemed to be burning. The cement floor was also burned by the dark red flames. It actually melted and looked like it had turned into magma. Phew! Xia Ping opened his eyes and let out a deep breath. The flames in the air immediately retracted and were absorbed through every pore of his body, merging with his blood. The surrounding temperature also returned to normal. What a pity, the dragon tiger pills are no longer useful to me. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. The 15 dragon tiger pills had given him a large amount of true qi. There were many benefits. The converted true qi had filled up half of his acupoints. However, taking too many of these pills had already caused his body to develop antibodies. Even if he took more, it would not have any effect. He had to find other spirit herbs. Perhaps only the water of life will be useful. Oh right. Today seems to be the day the Cloud Mist Mountains opens. I have to go to the entrance of Yanhuang University. Xia Ping suddenly remembered that today was the day the Cloud Mist Mountains opened. His opportunity to advance to the martial master realm was probably at the Cloud Mist Mountains. If he could obtain a large amount of the water of life, he would definitely be able to quickly refine his true chi and break through to the martial master realm. I wonder what kind of secret realm the Cloud Mist Mountains is. Xia Ping was looking forward to it. He also turned his eyes and remembered something. By the way, I have turned off the system prompts these days. I don't know how much hatred has increased. I wonder if it is enough to get 1 million hatred points. Chapter 376. System, how much hatred have I gained recently? Xia Ping immediately asked. The system said, congratulations to the host. Recently, you have gained 100,000 hatred points, and the total hatred points have increased to 950,000. You still need 50,000 hatred points to reach 1 million. I hope the host will continue to work hard. 100,000 hatred points. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He ordered Feng Hetang to build the Pingtian Gate and used a lot of methods to anger many students. However, those students didn't reach the level of killing Xia Ping, just disgust. To be able to get 100,000 hatred points was already not bad, and it was only because of the large number of people that he got so much. I'm just short of 50,000 hatred points to reach 1 million. I wonder what the system's gift pack is. Xia Ping was looking forward to it. He also felt that he wasn't far from 1 million hatred points. He estimated that he could reach it with a little more effort. It wasn't a difficult hurdle to overcome. Beep beep suddenly, Xia Ping's smartwatch rang. Immediately, there were 2 or 3 communication requests. They were Chu Rong, Jiang Yaru, and Nangong Wu. With a snap, the virtual projections of the 3 people appeared in midair. What's the matter? Xia Ping asked curiously. He knew that the 3 of them had been stimulated by him. Recently, they had been working hard in seclusion. Jiang Yaru said in a deep voice, I believe you also know that I joined a martial arts organization, the Cold Moon Palace. A few days ago, the Cold Moon Palace organized a party at Yanhuang University. At that time, Chu Rong and I went to participate. Coincidentally, at the party, a king-level powerhouse from the Cold Moon Palace wanted to accept me as a disciple, so I will be following Master to cultivate. I estimate that I will be leaving Yanhuang University for a period of time. I don't know when I will be back. Chu Rong also nodded, it's the same for me. I was accepted as a disciple by another king-level powerhouse from the Cold Moon Palace. I also have to cultivate with him. I'm afraid that I will also be leaving Yanhuang University, so I came to say goodbye to you. The 2 of them concisely explained the reason for their call. With your aptitude, there are actually king-level powerhouses who want you as disciples. Are you for real? You didn't encounter unspoken rules, did you? How did you get promoted? Xia Ping blinked his eyes and looked at the 2. He knew that if a king-level warrior was willing to take them as his disciples, it would be like reaching the heavens in a single bound. It would be many times better than being admitted to Yanhuang University. With such a terrifying person standing behind them, who would dare to bully them? Even training resources would be rolling in, and there would be countless benefits. However, even though Yanhuang University had 200,000 students, not many king-level fighters were willing to accept these students as disciples. Sometimes it depended on the other party's mood, and sometimes it depended on fate. What do you mean? What do you mean by relying on our aptitude? Are the 2 of us that bad? Chu Rong was so angry that she almost died. This bastard's dog mouth simply couldn't spit out ivory. If Xia Ping was in front of her, she would definitely fight it out with this bastard. Jiang Yaru grumpily said, our Cold Moon Palace's people are all women. What sort of unspoken rules are you talking about? Don't spout nonsense here. If my master finds out, you'll definitely have to bear the consequences. He actually dared to criticize a king realm expert in his heart. This fellow is too audacious. So what if she's a woman? Can't women talk about unspoken rules? What if she's a lesbian? Xia Ping disapproved. Chu Rong gritted her teeth. This bastard's heart was really filthy to the extreme. Don't talk nonsense with this shameless bastard. Just talking to him a few more times will make you half die of anger. Jiang Yaru had already cultivated to the realm where his heart was as calm as water. If it weren't for this, he would have long since gone mad from anger. I actually came here this time to say goodbye. Nan Gongwu also opened her mouth, her beautiful eyes as calm as water. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. You were also unspoken. The corner of Nan Gongwu's mouth twitched. She grumpily said, just talking to you makes me want to beat you up. It's not like that. My mother's family sent someone to pick me up, so I need to leave Yanhuang University for a period of time. Mother's family? Xia Ping's eyes flickered. According to the information he received, Nan Gongwu's mother seemed to have passed away a long time ago. No one in Tianshui City knew who Nan Gongwu's mother was. Even her name was unknown, and she had never appeared in front of the world. Because of this matter, some people even thought that Nan Gongwu had been adopted by Nan Gonghai. However, Nan Gonghai didn't care about this matter, and Nan Gongwu was still the direct heir of the Nan Gong family. Now, she actually said that her mother's family had come to pick her up. Could it be that her mother's family was a great force in the sky realm? In short, that's how it is. I hope we'll have a chance to meet again. Nan Gongwu's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of complicated emotions. There were many things that were difficult to say, but she didn't say anything and directly hung up. Xia Ping didn't ask either. This was her family matter, so he couldn't ask anything. Remember, next time I'll definitely beat you up until you look for your teeth on the ground. Chu Rong clenched her fists and revealed a fierce expression. She also hung up the communicator. Jiang Yaru said, Auntie told me to watch over you and not cause trouble everywhere. But I guess you wouldn't listen even if I said it. In short, be careful. Don't be too careless and get plotted against. After saying that, she also ended the call. They've all left? Xia Ping didn't expect to part ways with the three of them so soon. But this was also good. They had a big backer, which would be great for their future development. Ding dong, suddenly, the villa's doorbell rang. It was very urgent. It's really lively today. Someone came looking for me again. Who are they? Xia Ping turned on his smartwatch and projected it in the air. He immediately saw 3 or 4 people standing in front of the villa. Each of them had an extremely strong aura. They were at least in the martial master realm. One of the young men dressed in black was even more tyrannical. He stood with his hands behind his back. He didn't carry any weapons, but he emitted the aura of a monarch. His might suppressed the world, and no one could disobey his will. Su family, Su Yunlong. The man in black stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, You must be Xia Ping. Come out immediately. I have something to talk to you about. Su Yunlong. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light when he heard the name. He remembered that when Su Jianhua came looking for trouble, he said that he had an elder brother who was an elite student and protected him in school. His name was Su Yunlong. Now this kid came looking for him. Could it be because of Su Jianhua's disappearance? However, he remained calm and said, There's something you want to talk to me about? I have nothing to talk to your Su family. Get lost. He unceremoniously asked the guest to leave. You don't know how to appreciate favors. Su Buchuan sneered and said, We're giving you face by coming here to talk to you. Don't be so shameless. If you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for dealing with the people around you. He was full of murderous intent. What do you mean? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes, and there was a hint of murderous intent in the depths of his pupils. Su Buchuan snorted coldly, That's what I mean. I remember that you have many female confidants around you, and you also have a good brother. We can't deal with you, but can't we deal with them? Maybe you think that staying at Yanhuang University is very safe and we can't deal with them, but you're wrong. Very wrong. I don't believe that they haven't left Yanhuang University and gone out to train. Once they dare to leave Yanhuang University and go out to train, we will act immediately and use all means to kill them. Think about the consequences carefully. If you don't want them to die, you'd better listen to me. Chapter 377. Hearing these words, Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and stared at Su Buchuan and the others. A trace of anger surged in his heart. He guessed that these people didn't know that Jiang Yaru and the others already had a powerful backer, a king-level master behind them. Otherwise, how could they dare to say such words? Offending a king-level master was the same as courting death. However, he didn't say anything. He just calmly looked at these people, wanting to see what other tricks they had up their sleeves. No, no, no. Uncle Buchuan, this is a bit too much. Su Yunlong faintly smiled and said, no matter what, this kid is also a big shot. He has the protection of the giant corporation, so you can't go too far. If there's a life and death struggle, it won't be good for everyone. Don't worry. Today, I also came here to have a serious talk with you. Let's see if we can resolve the grudges between us. We are all students of Yanhuang University, so we are on the same side. I won't do anything unfavorable to you. He revealed a gentle expression, indicating that he didn't have any bad intentions. You guys just want to talk. Xia Ping calmly said, but he was sneering in his heart. How could he not feel the deep malice coming from these people? However, he was bold now. Even if he faced a martial master, he wouldn't have the slightest bit of fear. He just wanted to see what tricks these people had up their sleeves. That's right, we just want to talk. Su Yunlong nodded. But this is not a convenient place to talk. Follow me, let's find a secret place to talk. After speaking, he turned and walked away. Xia Ping's eyes flashed and he followed. Not long after, they left Yanhuang University at an extremely fast speed. After running for 300 to 400 kilometers, they finally stopped in a remote valley. There were lush trees all around, and there were flying insects and beasts living nearby. There were no traces of humans at all. It could be said that this was a desolate place. After arriving in this valley, Su Yunlong and the others turned to look at Xia Ping. This is a secret place. It's too secretive. It's hundreds of kilometers away from Yanhuang University, and there's no one around. What do you guys want to do by bringing me here? What do you want to talk about? Xia Ping looked at this group of people. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Hearing this, Su Boan, Su Bou, and Su Buchuan all sneered with malicious intent. They immediately surrounded Xia Ping, as if they wanted to capture him. Talk about what? Why the hell am I talking to you? Su Buchuan sneered, what an idiot. We asked you to follow us, and you really followed us. You're simply a brainless piece of trash. How can someone like you be an enemy of our Su family? What a joke. To tell you the truth, you're done for today. This valley is hundreds of kilometers away from Yanhuang University. It's no longer within the surveillance range of Yanhuang University, and the teachers won't stop us either. When we were in school, we were afraid of you, afraid that you would provoke the teachers of Yanhuang University. But now, they don't even know what's going on. Let's see how you're going to escape. He revealed a ferocious smile. Didn't you want to negotiate with me? Now you want to make a move and capture me. Isn't that a bit too much? That's not what we said before. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows and looked at the group. Su Bo laughed wildly, you're indeed an idiot. That was just a lie to trick you out of Yanhuang University. Do you really think we want to negotiate with you? What a joke. You've killed so many people from our Su family, and there's already a blood feud between us. How can we negotiate with you? Unless you become a servant of our Su family and work like a dog for our Su family in the future, then we can negotiate. Enough. Su Yunlong waved his hand. He looked at Xia Ping with an arrogant expression. At this point, you can't escape. If you dare to resist, you'll be courting death. My methods will let you experience what it means to wish you were dead, so don't do anything stupid. The reason why I came to find you is because I want to know one thing. What kind of cultivation method did you learn? How did you improve so quickly? From an ordinary student, you actually grew into a famous genius in Yanhuang University. It's not simple. Also, that protective cultivation method of yours seems to be very powerful. Even Yanhuang University's library doesn't have any records of it. Just where did it come from? Why don't you tell me all these secrets? If you cooperate well, the grudge between you and my Su family can be written off. I can even spare the lives of your lovers and your brothers. He stated his conditions. Yunlong, you'll let him go if you hand over the cultivation methods. Don't joke around. The clan leader has already given the order. At the very least, he needs to be crippled of his cultivation, and he can only beg on the streets for the rest of his life. Su Buchuan laughed coldly, a terrifying killing intent surging from his body. I naturally know what I'm doing. It's not your place to interrupt. Su Yunlong looked at Su Buchuan emotionlessly, then turned to Xia Ping. Have you thought it over? Normally, I don't give people this kind of opportunity, but I cherish talent and feel that you are a promising talent. That's why I'm giving you this opportunity. I hope you can cherish it and don't resist stubbornly. Of course, you can choose not to say anything and choose to resist. However, I will torture you until you wish you were dead. You will taste 360 kinds of torture in the world and try them one by one. When the time comes, you will eventually tell me. The expression on his face was very cold, like that of an executioner. If you kill me, are you not afraid of Yanhuang University's investigation and the giant company's investigation? Xia Ping looked at Su Yunlong indifferently. Su Yunlong laughed coldly. Investigation. This is Cloud World. Do you think you're still on planet Yanhuang? There are barren mountains everywhere, and there are no cameras. How can they investigate? Plus, I'm an elite student of Yanhuang University. Without evidence, the giant company can't do anything to me. You actually put your hopes on Yanhuang University and the giant company. What a joke. In Cloud World, strength is the most important. The so-called background and bloodline are all fake. One punch can kill them. You just came to Cloud World, so you don't understand this, but you will soon. He clenched his fist, and his killing intent surged. So that's how it is. Xia Ping nodded. If you kill people in the barren mountains, you won't find any clues. If that's the case, then I can kill all of you. If you all die here, it will be a good grave with good mountains and good water. He clenched his fist, and a wave of aura surged from his body. Shut up. Chapter 378. Ungrateful dog, I gave you face, but you don't want it. Su Buchuan shouted angrily. His expression was sinister. We spoke to you nicely and told you to kneel and beg for mercy, yet you still dare to talk nonsense here. You even want to kill us. You're harboring evil intentions. Do you think we are easy to talk to, so you start rubbing your nose and staring at us? The faces of Su Yunlong and the others were ugly. They had already said a lot and gave Xia Ping a chance, but this kid didn't know how to be grateful. He even started to threaten to kill them. This was too much. Idiot. Xia Ping said coldly, you want to speak nicely? You threatened me the moment we met, threatened me with the lives of my friends, and even wanted me to hand over the secrets of my cultivation method. You even want to take my life. Is this what you call being easy to talk to? Your Su family is used to acting like a tyrant on Yanhuang planet. You are tyrannical and arrogant. You don't put anyone in your eyes. Everyone has to listen to you. I can tell you this. Just because of this, you all have to die today. A terrifying murderous aura spread from his body as he stared at this group of people. Presumptuous, this is too presumptuous. What did you eat that gave you the courage to talk to us? Su Buchuan trembled with anger, and his eyes were red. Su Yunlong, this kid doesn't know how to appreciate favors and wants to kill us. Do you still want to speak up for him? How do you think this matter should be resolved? It's my fault. I didn't expect this kid to refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit. I have to teach him a lesson so that he knows what he's capable of. Su Yunlong was murderous. Uncle Buchuan, make your move. As long as you don't kill him, you can do whatever you want to him. He had lost his patience and didn't want to continue talking to Xia Ping like this. Sometimes, this was how things were. Some weak bugs always overestimated themselves and fantasized that they could escape from his palm. In the face of this situation, he just needed to slap these bugs into pieces. Then, they would know how powerful he was. Good, very good. Su Buchuan stared at Xia Ping. I don't know why you are so arrogant. Do you have something to rely on, or do you really think that we don't dare to kill you? Do you think that your backer, the giant company, will protect you? But I will let you know how wrong your thinking is. In front of me, Su Buchuan, you are nothing but an ant. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and cast a sidelong glance. Come here to die. Brat, how dare a mere ant in the martial warrior realm speak to me like this? Su Buchuan couldn't take it anymore and started to go crazy. I am a martial master realm expert. Do you know what the martial master realm is? Condensing true qi into liquid, controlling true qi, controlling elemental energy, grasping wind as a knife, grasping water as a sword. The attack power of a punch is more than 10 times that of a martial artist in the martial warrior realm, and it can kill enemies from several kilometers away. How dare you challenge a martial mentor expert with your current strength? You're courting death. Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, the true essence power on his body began to boil, and traces of flames suddenly appeared, condensing into a fire crow behind him, and terrible flames burned the surroundings. The fire crow gently flapped its wings, setting off shocking waves and shocking winds. The temperature rose sharply, and the power of the flames was controlled by him. With a bang, his right foot stepped on the ground, and a deep pit was formed in an instant. The ground cracked, and his right foot seemed to have explosive power. His body flew out in an instant, like a cannonball. In just a breath, he was still dozens of meters away from Xia Ping, but he was already in front of Xia Ping. Go to hell! Su Buchuan shouted angrily, clenching his fists of flames, and attacked with all his strength. He was really angry, and he wanted to beat this arrogant brat into a good-for-nothing with one blow, and completely destroy his cultivation. At this moment, Xia Ping made his move. He took a step forward and stomped on the ground, leaving a clear footprint. The pure yang immortal art in his body began to operate, and the true essence power in the depths of his dantian began to boil. An uncontrollable tyrannical power gushed out from the depths of his body, from his dantian, meridians, to his feet, waist, and then to his shoulders, elbows, and finally to his fists. Walala. At this moment, Xia Ping's fists were surrounded by dark red flames, and he felt an unprecedented tyrannical power, which was more than 10 times stronger than true qi. His whole body's momentum suddenly rose, like an ancient giant, and his muscles swelled to the extreme. This kind of power was enough to tear mountains, sever rivers, and destroy the sky. Dong! This punch landed solidly on Su Buchuan's abdomen, and like the morning bell and evening drum, the sound shook the surroundings, and the sound condensed into a substance, like a wave sweeping in all directions. Ah! Su Buchuan had no idea what had happened, and he didn't even know when Xia Ping had punched him. He was hit in the abdomen by Xia Ping, and the true essence protection all over his body was smashed to pieces. The fire crow behind him was also smashed into pieces at this moment, disintegrating in the air, and vaguely, there seemed to be a shrill scream. The tyrannical true essence power immediately seeped into Su Buchuan's internal organs, and he immediately coughed up blood. His head roared, and his whole body fell from the air to the ground, smashing at Xia Ping's feet. When all of the flames and true essence fluctuations disappeared, everyone saw that Su Buchuan was like a dead dog, lying at Xia Ping's feet, vomiting great mouthfuls of blood. His breath was weak, and he no longer had any combat strength left. Xia Ping looked down from above, and he stepped on Su Buchuan's head. "You want me to kneel and beg for mercy, you want me to live a life worse than death, and you call me an ant? Now look, who is the ant, who is kneeling and begging for mercy, and who is living a life worse than death?" He looked down at Su Buchuan like this. You. Su Buchuan was going crazy, and his face turned red. He saw a dignified expert in the martial master realm, who was like a general in the outside world, with a high status and great power, who was respected by countless people. But now, he was like a dead dog, being stepped on by this little bastard who didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth, and even his head. This was a great humiliation. He had lived for dozens of years, but he had never been humiliated like this before. Not convinced? Do you believe that I won't cripple your dantian and make you a cripple? You will only be able to sit in a wheelchair in the future, and you will have a taste of what it means to live a life worse than death. You know that I have this ability. Xia Ping calmly looked at Su Buchuan. Little bastard, you dare. Su Buchuan was going crazy, and he was extremely angry. I am a martial master realm expert, and I am also an elder of the Su clan. If you dare to treat me like this, it means that you will not rest until the Su clan is dead. If you start an all-out war, even the giant company will not be able to protect you, do you understand? Chapter 379. Stop. At this moment, Su Yunlong spoke. He stared at Xia Ping and said, "Good lad, I didn't expect you to improve so fast. You have already reached the 9th level of fighter and cleared 9 acupoints. You even comprehended the power of true origin. Such a speed of improvement and such talent are too terrifying. It is a matter of time before you reach the martial master realm and become an elite student. No wonder you are the #1 expert among the freshmen. However, Su Buchuan is an elder of my Su clan. He is my man. You can't kill him." A trace of greed appeared in the depths of his eyes. He was getting more and more interested in the secrets of Xia Ping. Xia Ping had such a fast cultivation speed, yet his foundation was not unstable at all. Instead, it was incomparably solid, advancing step by step. This must be related to the cultivation technique he had. Such a cultivation technique probably surpassed the king-level cultivation technique. Such a cultivation technique probably didn't even exist in the library of Yanhuang University. Even elite students weren't qualified to learn it. Only a few big shots in the university were qualified to cultivate it. One could imagine how precious such a cultivation technique was. It was priceless. Su Boan and Su Bo were shocked as well. They'd completely underestimated Xia Ping. They'd originally thought that with their strength, they'd be able to capture him easily and eliminate this scourge. But who would have thought that with just one move, Su Buchuan, whose strength was not inferior to theirs, would be defeated. He was beaten up like a dead dog with just one punch. This completely shocked them and showed them what it meant to be a monster in the world. It was simply illogical. Your Su clan won't rest until one of us is dead. Why can't I kill him? Xia Ping sneered. If you don't kill him, there is still room for negotiation. You can still bury the hatchet. But if you kill him, you will become a mortal enemy. Su Yunlong stared at Xia Ping. Any martial master is an extremely important battle force for the clan. Losing even one of them is a heavy loss. If you kill him, my Su clan will go crazy. Even the giant corporation won't be able to stop my Su clan from killing you. His tone was cold. You think I'm afraid of your Su clan? I can kill a bunch of trash like you. Xia Ping said indifferently. At that time, it's not me who's afraid of your Su clan. It's you who's afraid of me. Arrogant. Su Boan stood up and looked at Xia Ping disdainfully. Do you think we'll be afraid of you just because you're putting on an act here? If you have the ability, then kill Subo. I want to see if you dare or not. Kill him if you can. Fuck, this bastard wants to harm me. Su Bowen's face turned green, but he didn't remember having any enmity with Su Bowen. At most, they had occasional conflicts. How could he be so ruthless at a critical moment? What do you mean? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and stared at Su Bowen. Su Bowen laughed coldly. You should know what I mean. With your strength, you could have killed Su Buchuan with a single punch, but you didn't. You left him alive, which means that you have some misgivings in your heart. You are afraid of killing him and offending my Su clan. Most importantly, you killed him, which is a serious crime in the Cloud Realm. If this matter is reported, the federal law will punish you, Yanhuang University will expel you, and Giant Company will not tolerate you. With witnesses and material evidence, where can you escape to? This is an ironclad case. Of course, you can escape and become a fugitive, but without the protection of Giant Company, your family, your friends, they will all be implicated by you. My Su clan will take revenge on them and they will die a violent death. I've used this kind of intimidation method when I was a teenager. You actually want to use it in front of an expert? I don't believe that you really dare to kill my Su clan's elder. His tone was resolute as if he had seen through Xia Ping and was sure that he wouldn't dare to kill him. You're right. This brat has some misgivings in his heart. He doesn't dare to kill me. When Su Buchuan heard these words, he immediately became smug, and spoke with an incomparably arrogant tone. The human world is still a world of law. After killing someone, how can he escape? Unless he kills all of us and there's no evidence, how can he have the guts to do so? I'll also say that if you have the guts, kill me, Su Buchuan. At most, after 18 years, you'll be a good man again. He was instantly filled with courage and no longer had the fear and uneasiness he had earlier. This brat had some misgivings in his heart and didn't dare to act. Unless he killed all of them, there was no way he could hide it. But they had so many people here and Su Yunlong was also here. How could this brat kill all of them? As long as even one of them escaped, this brat would be dead for sure. Xia Ping, if you have the guts, then do it. Su Bowen was fearless. He basically looked down on Xia Ping and saw through the weakness of this young man. He had grasped his weakness and victory was already in his grasp. He stared at Xia Ping with disdain. I know your talent is outstanding and you have cultivated an unknown divine art. Your improvement is godly and you have the backing of the Giant Company. In time, you will definitely become a king-level expert. But you are only a martial artist now and don't have the qualifications to be a tyrant in the human world. You need to follow the laws of the Federation. If you kill our Su clan's elder, you will definitely become a fugitive of the Federation. The human world won't tolerate you anymore. At that time, all of your family members will die because of you. I advise you to release Su Buchuan obediently and hand over the secrets on your body. If you do that, we will still have a chance to be friends and bury the hatchet. This is your only way out. Boom! At this instant, Xia Ping took a step forward and grabbed the air with his right hand. True Qi surged out and the surrounding air currents rapidly condensed into a substance, transforming into a dark red spear. Many mysterious inscriptions appeared on the surface of this spear. Large amounts of dark red flames wrapped around it, emitting a terrifying power. The flames burned the air like an ancient divine spear. Swish! Just as Su Bowen finished speaking, Xia Ping grabbed the spear and the true energy in his body boiled. A copious amount of energy surged out and ruthlessly smashed towards the spear. Oh no, quickly dodge! Su Yunlong sensed the danger and his hair stood on end. He hurriedly shouted, trying to warn Su Bowen. But it was too late. Xia Ping's speed was extremely fast. It definitely surpassed the speed of sound. Moreover, Xia Ping and Su Bowen were only tens of meters apart. With such a short distance and such a fast speed, How could he dodge? Su Bowen didn't even expect Xia Ping to dare to attack. He was also caught off guard. In a breath's time, the dark red spear flew over, tearing the air and shattering the vacuum. Puchi. In the next second, the dark red spear pierced through Su Bowen's chest and burst his heart. Blood dripped down and dyed the entire ground red. At this moment, all of Su Bowen's complacent expression froze. His eyes revealed a look of disbelief as he stared at the dark red spear that had pierced through his chest. Chapter 380. Don't dare to kill you. Xia Ping looked at Su Bowen indifferently. Who do you think you are? Do you think I don't dare to kill you just because you say so? I guess you think I have scruples because of my young age, but let me tell you, I have no taboos. You have to be trustworthy. If I say I will kill your whole family, I will kill your whole family. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, the dark red spear condensed from quintessential essence immediately exploded like a super bomb. Su Bowen's entire body was immediately blown into pieces, turning into countless fragments that made a crashing sound. In this way, a first heaven of the martial master realm expert died, leaving only some minced meat residue. The whole ground was covered with blood, staining the earth red. This. Su Bowen was so scared that his face turned green and his whole body was trembling. He never thought that Xia Ping would be so cruel. He killed people without any taboos and was unscrupulous. Su Bowen, who jumped the most just now, thought that he was smarter than others and thought that he had grasped Xia Ping's weakness. He said that Xia Ping did not dare to kill people. But now, Xia Ping did not speak at all. He did not even bother to threaten them. In an instant, he attacked and burst Su Bowen's heart. He was so cruel. It was a pity that he foolishly listened to Su Bowen's words and even jumped out to point fingers and shout at Xia Ping. This was clearly courting death. Too cruel. Su Bowen was trembling all over. Su Bowen was an elder of the Su family. He had a high status and was a martial master realm expert. On Yanhuang's star, he was a general-like existence. The death of such a person was equivalent to the assassination of an army general. Who knew how much trouble it would cause? Even a person like him who had lived for decades and whose hands were stained with countless blood did not dare to kill. But now, Xia Ping had killed Su Bowen just like that. He had stabbed Su Bowen to death with a single stab of his spear. How arrogant was his behavior! He was even more ferocious than the fugitives of the Federation and the great demons that killed people like flies. Now, who dared to doubt Xia Ping's determination to kill and who dared to underestimate him? Su Yunlong's face was very ugly. He felt that he had completely underestimated Xia Ping. Although this kid was young, his methods were more ruthless than some gangsters who had lived for decades. Once he made a move, he would not drag things out. He was an ambitious and ruthless person. Su Buchuan, you can try. See if I dare to kill you. If you have the guts, you'll continue to clamor. Xia Ping lowered his head and looked indifferently at Su Buchuan, who was lying on the ground. A formless might emanated from his body. In particular, when he stabbed Su Bowen to death with his spear, he was filled with a terrifying killing intent. Su Bowen was so scared that he peed his pants. His entire body was trembling, and a large patch of his pants was wet. Xia Ping, don't act recklessly. You've already committed a heinous crime by killing Su Bowen. If you want to kill me, you'll be even more guilty. If the federal government finds out, it'll be a felony. If you're caught, you'll be executed. Su Buchuan trembled. Felony? Xia Ping immediately laughed. It was a cold laugh. If this matter is known by others, it will be a serious crime. If no one knows, then it is innocent. Didn't you guys lure me to this place for this purpose? The expressions of Su Buchuan and the others were extremely ugly. They also understood Xia Ping's intentions. They had lured Xia Ping to this desolate place in the hopes of silently killing him. Without evidence, even the giant company and Yanhuang University would not be able to do anything to him. However, this desolate place had become their graveyard. If they died in Xia Ping's hands, without evidence, even the Su family would not be able to do anything to Xia Ping. They did not doubt Xia Ping's determination to kill. Even Su Bowen had been stabbed to death. He had already killed one person. What was the difference between killing one person and killing 10? Xia Ping. At this time, Su Yunlong stared at Xia Ping. Amazing, you're really amazing. You're only at the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm, but you've already comprehended the power of true essence. You can kill a 1st heaven of the martial master realm expert with one move. Such combat strength is extraordinary. You can be called a genius. I guess this is why you're so arrogant and dare to follow us to this valley. However, with this little strength, you want to be unscrupulous in front of me, Su Yunlong? This is simply not enough. Let me tell you what it means to say that there is always someone better than you. Rumble. As soon as his voice fell, with Su Yunlong's body as the center, a strong true essence power condensed. A huge aura, like that of a fierce beast, burst out from his body. At this moment, the entire valley began to tremble and rumble. He finally made his move. Su Bo and Su Buchuan were both surprised. They knew how powerful Su Yunlong was. At a young age, he had reached the 2nd heaven of the martial master realm, cultivated the king cultivation method Xianming Sutra, and was proficient in the power of ice. Once it was used, it would affect a radius of 5 or 6 kilometers and freeze the ground. Even though Xia Ping was very powerful, compared to Su Yunlong, his cultivation time was still too short. Whether it was true qi cultivation or martial arts experience, he was completely at a disadvantage. Bang! Su Yunlong slapped out with his palm, causing the air within a 1-kilometer radius to tremble. A terrifying cold current flowed out, forming a vortex that surrounded Xia Ping's body, as if it wanted to freeze him into an ice cube. Xia Ping felt that the temperature of the surrounding valley had dropped by dozens of degrees. The surroundings were filled with icy cold air, as if it was about to freeze his blood. Even the operation of his true qi had stopped. If it was an ordinary martial artist, it was estimated that they would not be able to withstand Su Yunlong's palm. The cold air surged and froze their bodies. If they were stiff for a moment, Su Yunlong would attack them and kill them with one palm. This power was more than several times stronger than that of Su Bo and Su Buchuan. They were not on the same level at all. Boom! However, at this moment, the true qi in Xia Ping's body immediately began to operate. Immediately, a flame power rose up and circulated around his body along his blood. His body temperature rose sharply. With a whoosh, a large number of flames emerged, sweeping away the surrounding cold air. In an instant, it was burned into water vapor, driving out the cold air. At this moment, his whole body was like a man on fire. Go to hell! Xia Ping was not to be outdone. He punched out, and a huge flame condensed into a substance, attacking Su Yunlong. Bang! The fist and the palm collided, and the cold power and the flame power collided, immediately causing an earth-shattering explosion. At the center of the collision, a deep pit with a diameter of 10 meters was immediately blasted out. Gravel flew everywhere, the ground shook, and smoke and dust billowed. There were even more than a dozen deep cracks, and no one knew how far they spread. Kill! Chapter 381. King Martial Skill Xianming Cold Palm, First Move, 6 Moons Flying Frost. At this moment, Su Yunlong displayed his king martial skill. With a palm strike, the palm prints in the air overlapped, covering the sky and covering the earth, densely covering the entire space. A terrifying cold current surged, and the cold wind howled in the sky. Every airflow turned into a terrifying cold current. Once it hit the enemy, it would immediately freeze the enemy into ice. It even had a terrifying lethality, and could easily penetrate rocks. Too strong. Su Bo and Su Buchuan's hearts were trembling. This was the first time they had seen Su Yunlong use his full strength. Although he was only in the second heaven of the martial master realm, he was many times stronger than them. His every move contained the ability to affect the weather. Under such a cold current, ordinary martial artists would have long been frozen stiff and unable to move. If the two of them were to fight with Su Yunlong, they would probably be killed in a few breaths. No wonder this guy looked down on them so much. With such strength, he was qualified to look down on the heroes. Facing such a terrifying attack, Xia Ping was unmoved. His mind was completely immersed in his own genuine essence power. He felt the power of the flame integrated into every cell of his body, and his body was unprecedentedly strong. With such power, he would definitely not lose to anyone. First move of the 10,000 Beasts Fist, Violent Ape Hammer. This was the first time Xia Ping used the power of the true essence power to use the move of the 10,000 Beasts Fist. However, this time, he felt a completely different feeling from before. At this moment, he seemed to be grateful that the power of the true essence was infused into the move. The entire violent ape seemed to come alive, as if the power of lava was flowing in its veins. Its hair was covered with flames, burning crazily, and it had a strong vitality. Rumble he transformed into an ancient violent ape. His hands formed a circle, and a giant flaming hammer appeared in the sky. He smashed it fiercely, as if the god of fire had descended. He swung the iron hammer and smashed Mount Buzhou. Bang! 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 There was a continuous sound of explosions in the sky. The flames and the cold current collided, and the cold current was immediately smashed into pieces. The flames melted the ice and snow, turning it into water vapor, and filled the surroundings. The ground around them crumbled. Huge boulders were turned to dust, huge trees were uprooted, and even ice blocks and lava pits appeared on the ground. How is this possible? Su Yunlong was astonished. He could feel the berserk energy coming from Xia Ping's body. It was simply capable of destroying everything. The tyrannical energy passed through the void and into his body, almost injuring his internal organs. The most amazing thing was the flames. They were simply his nemesis, and they could burn everything like the essence of the sun. He had seen a lot of fire cultivation methods, but he had never seen such amazing flames. Even rocks would melt under such flames, it was simply impossible to resist. There was no doubt that the boy's cultivation method must be the top, and could not resist. There was no doubt that the boy's cultivation method must be the best. What was even more difficult for him to accept was that this kid was only at the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm, but he was already at the 2nd heaven of the martial mentor realm, which was 2 realms higher. Normally, he would be able to kill such a martial artist in a second, but now he was actually on par with him. This fact was hard for him to accept. Su, and Yang, and level could Yang. Zhou. Tian, He, Yen, and Qin, Yang King, X stage. He was no match for Lin Fan. Damn it. He really is the scourge of my Su clan. Such a person cannot be left alive. He must be killed and uprooted. Su Yunlong no longer had the thought of cherishing talent. Deep killing intent emanated from the depths of his eyes. The so-called cherishing of talent was because there was a huge gap between them. It was a condescending way of thinking that the other party was far inferior to him. But now, Lin Fan was close to him, and he was even a latecomer. How could he cherish Lin Fan? After a while, Lin Fan would probably be able to ride roughshod over him. Su Yunlong could only look up to Lin Fan. The second move of the Xian Ming Cold Palm, Ice Thunderball. Su Yunlong grabbed with his hand and immediately turned it into a ball. His genuine vitality surged and a huge ice ball appeared in an instant. It was surrounded by a terrible chill. Bang! 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 In just an instant, his hands turned into shadows in the air. Huge ice balls condensed and shot out like cannonballs, surpassing the speed of sound. If one was hit by these ice balls, even a hill would be pierced, not to mention a human. With so many ice balls, one would be smashed into meat paste in an instant. It's useless. Die. A flame appeared in Xiaoping's eyes. It was as if a sun was rotating in his eyes. He was excited to the extreme. The more he used the power of genuine vitality, the more familiar he was with it, and the more he could comprehend the mysteries of genuine vitality. Even at this moment, his understanding of the myriad beast's fist had reached a new level. If his previous use of the myriad beast's fist was only superficial, showing the appearance of a beast, but no substance, now he could endow it with a soul. The moves were alive, and the power was several times stronger. The third move of the myriad beast's fist, split bare hand. Roar! There was a roar in the void. A faint image of a violent bear appeared behind Xiaoping. It roared to the sky. Its fur was like flames, and the breath it breathed was like molten lava. It was incomparably violent. It was as if an ancient violent bear had traveled through time and came to the modern world. A wild aura was exuded. The ground beneath Xiaoping's feet cracked. Two huge craters appeared on the ground where Xiaoping stood. They were a pair of bare paws. Crackling sounds could be heard as countless cracks appeared on them. Dong! At this moment, Xiaoping slapped out with his palm. The air exploded, and he descended from the sky. The bear's paw contained the power of flames. It was as if he was a fiery bear, incomparably ferocious. Those ice balls were immediately smashed into smithereens, and some even flew out. Small mountains were smashed through, and huge rocks were smashed into smithereens. A small mountain in the distance was pierced by more than 10 ice balls. It was already riddled with holes. This is too exaggerated. Is this a monster? Su Bo and Su Buchuan's faces turned green. Compared to his performance just now, Xiaoping was simply a little white rabbit. He didn't use much of his strength at all. Now, he was like a ferocious tiger that could eat people. If Xiaoping had used such strength just now, they would probably be dead with one slap. They also knew that this kid was only in the 9th heaven of martial artist realm, and not a martial master realm expert. This was even more exaggerated. With a bang, Su Yunlong was slapped by the bare paw. His whole body flew out. The huge force shook his lungs, and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The power of the flame seemed to be melting him. If he hadn't desperately circulated his cultivation technique, he would have been burned to death. Xiaoping was also hit by an ice ball. The force shook and the tyrannical power erupted. Even Dark North's body protection technique couldn't withstand it, and his body was slightly injured. Chapter 382. Damned bastard, you've completely infuriated me. You're the one who forced me to do this. I'm going to kill you and tear you to pieces. Su Yunlong roared. His face was hideous to the extreme, and he was unable to restrain his anger. Who was Su Yunlong? He was an elite student of Yanhuang University, a powerhouse at the 2nd heaven of the martial master realm. He had cultivated the Xianming Sutra. Even among the many elite students of Yanhuang University, he was outstanding. But now, in the face of a junior, a martial artist at the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm, he was injured by his opponent and even vomited blood. If this matter was spread out, people would definitely laugh their heads off. A powerhouse in the martial master realm was actually injured by a junior in the martial warrior realm. It was just like a boxing champion being defeated by an amateur. It was too exaggerated. It could be said that this was a great shame for Su Yunlong, a great shame that must be washed away. Xianming Cold Palm Ultimacy, 3 feet of ice. Rumble with Su Yunlong's body as the center, a tyrannical aura burst out. The genuine essence in his body vibrated and a huge glacier painting immediately condensed above his head. Each genuine essence outlined a line. The huge painting shook in the void and immediately a tyrannical force gushed out. The surrounding 4 or 5 kilometers were shrouded in the power of ice. Clatter large snowflakes fell from the sky. In just a few breaths, they were 3 feet thick. The temperature dropped rapidly, at least 20 to 30 degrees below zero. Both Su Buchuan and Su Bo were shivering from the cold. Go to hell. Su Yunlong gave an angry shout, and all the true essence in his body erupted. This was simply his peak strike. A huge glacier scroll fell from the sky, and ruthlessly crushed down. The tyrannical power of ice shrouded Xia Ping's body. He wanted to shock Xia Ping to death with one blow. So strong. Xia Ping could clearly feel the tyrannical power of this glacier painting. It was almost a martial arts ultimacy. The surrounding temperature was extremely cold, almost to the extent that a drop of water would be frozen. Under such a temperature, ordinary martial artists could not even exert 30% of their strength. Not to mention that this power was also extremely terrifying. The wind was howling and the qi was surging like the tide of the sea. The whole earth was shaking and many cracks appeared on the ground. If this power reached him, his whole body would be smashed into pieces. Pure yang immortal art, pure yang true intent, only I am supreme. Under such pressure, Xia Ping's potential was pushed to the brink of despair. The cultivation method within his body revolved crazily, and the temperature within his body rose crazily like a volcano. The surrounding ice and snow that landed on the surface of his body were immediately melted by the scorching flames, turning into water vapor that permeated the surroundings. With his body as the center, it formed a flame domain. As his cultivation method revolved to the limit, the dark red true essence crazily revolved. Xia Ping was able to comprehend the true meaning of the pure yang immortal art. His true essence surged like liquid, condensing into the phantom of a solar furnace in the depths of his dantian. This was an anomaly that would only appear when one reached the martial master realm. His dantian transformed into a sun furnace, incinerating everything. Any energy that entered his dantian would be cleanly refined and absorbed, containing an incomparable might within. Originally, this was a phenomenon that would only appear when one entered the martial master realm. But now, under Su Yunlong's coercion, Xia Ping also gained a deep comprehension and a trace of the embryonic form of the solar furnace appeared. 10,000 Beasts Fist 7th Style, Giant Elephant Axe. Xia Ping stepped out as a terrifying aura rose up. He was like an ancient divine elephant, instantly shattering the surrounding ice and snow. His stomp caused the earth to tremble. Violent true essence condensed, forming an ancient divine elephant behind him. The surface of its body was engraved with densely packed flame runes, as though it was a divine elephant that walked in the depths of the sun. Bang! Xia Ping punched out, it was like a giant axe descending into the world. The divine elephant raised its trunk, and a tyrannical strength shook the area. Flames erupted forth, descending from the sky. With a loud bang, this tyrannical force blasted the huge glacier painting and immediately shattered it into countless pieces like a block of ice. Even the ice cubes rapidly turned into water vapor under the heat of the flames. Su Yunlong couldn't help but scream miserably. Because his martial Dao's profound mysteries were forced, his mental energy was also heavily injured. He couldn't help but cough out large amounts of blood. But before he could do anything, a giant true essence axe descended from the sky, chopping down ruthlessly. Even the air was forcefully split into two with an aura that could shatter Mount Buzhou. Su Yunlong couldn't block it at all. His protective true essence was easily split apart, and a crack extended from his head all the way to his feet. With a poochie sound, a large amount of blood spurted out like a fountain, splattering on the ground, dyeing the white ice and snow on the ground red. In just one move, Su Yunlong's body was split in half. Even the ground cracked, and a crack appeared, extending for a kilometer. Kacha, kacha, kacha sounds rang out. Su Yunlong, dead. His corpse fell to the ground, his eyes wide open, filled with fear, unease, and disbelief. He didn't dare to believe that he had died just like that, and at the hands of a martial realm expert at that. He simply couldn't die in peace. Pooh! With a sound, Xia Ping couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale, and he felt a burst of weakness. That attack just now had almost exhausted his strength, and his cultivation method was activated to the extreme. It could be said that using this peak attack not only killed Su Yunlong, but also seriously injured his body at the same time. He was seriously injured, and all the meridians in his body were broken, and his blood was boiling like lava. If it wasn't for his incomparably strong body, he would have died long ago. He had paid a heavy price to forcefully unleash this martial master level attack. No way, Su Yunlong is dead. Su Buchuan was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe that the genius of the Su family, Su Yunlong, the hope of the future, would actually die, and he died at the hands of a martial realm expert like Xia Ping. His heart was trembling, and he couldn't imagine what kind of expression the elders of the Su family would have if they knew about this. They would probably go completely crazy. How dare you kill a member of my Su family, go to hell! Su Bo shouted angrily in the distance. His eyes were wide open, and he was extremely angry. At the same time, he saw that Xia Ping's body was weak, and he thought that this was a great opportunity. He pounced on Xia Ping crazily and punched out, trying to kill Xia Ping. You're courting death. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He gently flicked his finger, and a dark red genuine vitality burst out. Like a dark red light, it instantly tore through the air. Dong! Immediately, the light penetrated Su Bo's head, and blood flowed out. Chapter 383. Run! Seeing this situation, Su Buchuan was so scared that he peed his pants. He knew that even in an extremely weak state, Xia Ping still had the power to kill them with a wave of his hand. How could he dare to go forward and take revenge? If he dared to do so, he would die. He operated the true essence in his body and immediately crawled up from the ground. His speed was extremely fast, like a rabbit. With a few jumps, he wanted to escape and leave this dangerous place. Just you wait. When I return to the Su family, I will use all the power of the Su family to completely eradicate this scourge. If Xia Ping doesn't kill me, I, Su Buchuan, am not a human. Su Buchuan gnashed his teeth, and his heart was filled with incomparable hatred. The Su family had come to find trouble with Xia Ping, but now 3 of them were dead and 1 was injured. The loss was unbearable. This was a great shame, and this was a blood feud. After he escaped, he must take revenge, otherwise he would not be able to swallow this anger. But now, he did not dare to shout, because Xia Ping's ferocity was too terrifying. Staying here would only lead to death. In a few breaths, he had escaped 2 kilometers. Go to hell. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He could not let Su Buchuan leave alive. If Su Buchuan left alive, who knew how much trouble it would cause? The Su family's revenge would come one after another, so Su Buchuan had to die. Bang! He kicked with his foot, and the power of true essence immediately wrapped around a piece of gravel on the ground. With a swoosh, the gravel instantly flew out, breaking through the sound barrier. At this moment, there was a sharp, deafening sound of something breaking through the air. Even the air condensed, and it spread in all directions like rolling waves. What? Su Buchuan instinctively felt a trace of danger. He turned around, wanting to know what had happened. But just as he looked, he saw a piece of gravel quickly flying towards him with incomparable accuracy. With a poochie sound, the gravel instantly pierced through Su Buchuan's true essence defense, then shot through his throat, and smashed through a distant hill, finally shattering into pieces. Ugh! Su Buchuan covered his throat with both hands. However, his throat had been pierced and his neck was already leaking air. A large amount of blood gushed out from between his fingers like a faucet and dripped onto the ground. He wanted to say something, but his neck was leaking air, so he couldn't say anything. His eyes were wide open, filled with regret, unwillingness, fear, and disbelief. If he had known that this kid was so abnormal and powerful, he wouldn't have come looking for trouble with him even if he was beaten to death. Unfortunately, it was already too late when he found out about this. With a plop, his entire body finally fell to the ground, sending up a cloud of dust. His pupils dimmed, and blood flowed on the ground, forming a bright red expanse. He had already lost all signs of life. Su Bo was dead. Who? Seeing that these Su family members were all dead, Xia Ping immediately breathed a sigh of relief. He felt that the true essence in his body had been exhausted, and his body felt unprecedentedly weak. Fortunately, he took advantage of the last bit of true essence to kill Su Buchuan and Su Bo. Otherwise, the one who died would definitely be Xia Ping. It's a little troublesome. I'm going to the Cloud and Mist Mountain Range later. If I drag my body in like this, the situation will probably be very serious. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He knew that the Cloud and Mist Mountain Range was not a safe place. There were many dangers inside, and there were many tyrannical monsters living there. Once he encountered these dangerous creatures, his life would be in danger. At this time, the system's voice sounded, "Host, if you spend 500,000 hatred points, you can exchange for a top-grade healing pill to instantly heal your injuries." 500,000 hatred points? Xia Ping was speechless. In order to get hundreds of thousands of hatred points, he didn't know how many hateful things he had done. Every time, he spent a lot of effort. Now, just to instantly heal his injuries, he spent so much. Did he really think that he was stupid? No. Although this kind of injury is serious, it will take a certain amount of time to slowly recover. There's no need to spend so much hatred points. Xia Ping flatly refused. I want to ask if there are any other healing pills that are effective in treating injuries. The system said, rejuvenation pill, worth 50,000 hatred points. Once taken, it can slowly heal the injuries on the body, but it will take 1 day. I don't know if the host needs it. 1 day. Hearing this, Xia Ping suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. If it only took 1 day to recover, then it would be no problem. After all, entering the Cloud and Mist Mountain Range would take at least a month. At most, on the first day, he wouldn't take any risks. He would find a place to hide temporarily, recover from his injuries, and then take action. Exchange for the rejuvenation pill. Xia Ping immediately said. With a ding, a green pill the size of a glass bead fell onto Xia Ping's palm. He swallowed the pill without hesitation. So comfortable. Xia Ping immediately felt the pill enter his stomach and was quickly refined by the true essence in his body. Those injured meridians seemed to be slowly recovering. He also felt a surge of strength pouring out of his body, no longer as weak as before. Even this unique medicinal power was very gentle, constantly nourishing the wounds on his body, quickly healing, and the circulation of true essence in his body also seemed to have the effect of recovering from injuries. According to this situation, he might not need a day to recover from the injuries in his body. Huh? What is this? Xia Ping stepped forward and exchanged for the corpse disintegration water, completely destroying the corpses of Su Yunlong and the others. Even their clothes melted on the ground, so that no one could find their corpses and there was no evidence. But after their corpses disappeared, they left behind a white porcelain bottle, which was found on Su Yunlong's body. With a snap, he opened the white porcelain bottle, and his eyes suddenly lit up. No way, this is the Wood Yuan pill? The white porcelain bottle contained 4 or 5 green pills, exuding a strong medicinal aura, which immediately refreshed his spirit. Xia Ping knew that the Wood Yuan pill was an extremely precious pill. It used the essence of the wood, supplemented by 81 kinds of precious spiritual herbs, and after 49 days of refining, it could be successfully refined. Its value was no less than that of the mysterious Yin pill. If one wanted to exchange for it in the school, ordinary students would have to vomit blood because they couldn't afford it. Only elite students like Su Yunlong, who were experts in the martial master realm, could obtain it, but they also had to pay a huge price. It was estimated that Su Yunlong bought it from the school in order to shorten his cultivation time. With these Wood Yuan pills, it should not be a problem to advance to the peak of the martial warrior realm. Xia Ping was very satisfied. Perhaps Su Yunlong didn't expect that the pills that he had painstakingly and paid a huge price to obtain would now belong to him. However, he couldn't take the Wood Yuan pill for the time being. He had to recover from his injuries before he could take it. Swoosh. Chapter 384. At the entrance of Yanhuang University. At this time, many students were gathered at the entrance. These students were at least in the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. There were more than 10,000 people gathered there. These were the students who planned to enter the Cloud Mist mountain range. They all stood together in twos and threes, forming a small circle and chatting with each other. It's really spectacular. I didn't expect so many students to plan to enter the Cloud Mist mountain range. This is to be expected. After all, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you miss this opportunity, there will be no more. Indeed, all the students who are strong enough are participating. It is said that some powerful freshmen, such as Su Ji, Xiao Yishuan and so on, have reached the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm and also plan to participate. I wonder if that Xia Ping who stirred up trouble in Yanhuang University will participate. Isn't this to be expected? He would be a fool not to participate. Look, that bastard Xia Ping is here. Everyone was discussing. They soon noticed Xia Ping running from afar and soon arrived at the entrance of Yanhuang University. However, there were also some sharp-eyed students who noticed that Xia Ping's aura was a little strange. It was no longer as strong as before. Instead, it was unbelievably weak, as if he had been seriously injured. What happened? Xia Ping's aura is very weak. It is even weaker than a student who has just entered the martial artist realm. What happened to him? Some students' eyes flickered and they were very curious. Someone next to them guessed, could he have been beaten up? Who can beat him up? He has already defeated all the students in Yanhuang University. Unless the elite students make a move. It's very possible. This kid stirred up trouble in Yanhuang University. God knows how many people don't like him. If some elite students make a move, it is not impossible to deal with Xia Ping and teach him a lesson. But it is too embarrassing for elite students to deal with a freshman. If this gets out, I'm afraid he will be laughed at. Moreover, he doesn't seem to have any injuries on his body. It doesn't look like he was beaten up. If he wasn't beaten up, then there must be a problem when he was cultivating. He went berserk and seriously injured his body. That's a very possible reason. It's said that this kid was only a fighter 5th firmament when he entered the academy. However, he managed to advance to fighter 8th firmament in a short period of time. No matter how you look at it, he must have cultivated a demonic technique that allows him to advance rapidly. Although the school doesn't forbid students from cultivating any cultivation techniques, according to what I know, those demonic cultivation techniques that improve immensely are full of flaws. You can progress quickly in the early stages, but it's very difficult to progress in the later stages. Moreover, if you're not careful, you'll go berserk, wasting all your previous efforts. What you guys mean is that this Xia Ping might have a problem with his cultivation, causing his body to be severely injured. If that's the case, then the heavens really have eyes. I knew that this bumpkin from Yanhuang Star would progress so fast. There must be something strange about it. Maybe he practiced some evil cultivation method or took some forbidden medicine to have such achievements. Now it seems that it is indeed the case. But this is all speculation. I don't know if it's true. If Xia Ping really becomes a cripple, then there will be a good show to watch. I don't know how many people will find him to settle accounts. Especially those members of the martial arts club who were humiliated by Xia Ping. They will be the first to stand up and beat him up. Many students were talking about it, staring at Xia Ping with very unfriendly eyes. They looked up and down, seemingly wanting to know why Xia Ping's aura became so weak. If something really went wrong with Xia Ping's cultivation, then there would be a good show to watch. I finally arrived. Arriving at the school gate, Xia Ping suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. He rushed all the way here in time without any delay. Otherwise, if he was late, he might have missed the opportunity to enter the cloud and mist mountains. At this time, the spring pill in his body also played a role, constantly repairing the injuries in his body. So far, he had recovered 30% of his combat power. Although he was not as strong as he was at his peak, he had no problem dealing with ordinary martial artists at the 9th heaven layer. However, on the surface, his aura was very weak, even weaker than a student who had just entered the martial warrior realm. Xia Ping. At this time, Mu Haoren, the president of the Kendo Club, was the first to jump out. He looked at Xia Ping sinisterly and asked maliciously, "You don't look very comfortable. Did something go wrong in your cultivation? I have some healing pills with me. If you beg me, it's not that I can't sell them to you. The price is naturally fair." He wanted to take this opportunity to mock Xia Ping. "It's none of your business. Do you want to be beaten up by me again?" Xia Ping glanced at him. Hearing this, the face of Mu Haoren, the president of the Kendo Club, turned green. He couldn't help but clench his fists. He also remembered the scene of him being beaten up by Xia Ping. Although he was cured now, there was still a wound in his heart. The wound seemed to be aching, and he couldn't help but want to beat Xia Ping up. "Xia Ping, what do you mean by this? Senior Mu is concerned about you, and this is how you respond. Do you still know what is polite?" A student next to him jumped out and scolded Xia Ping. "A bumpkin from Yanhuang Star. It's normal for him to not know how to be polite. We can't ask too much of him." Another student looked at Xia Ping disdainfully. A student wearing glasses said insidiously, "I think there must be something fishy about this kid's cultivation speed. Maybe he has cultivated some evil martial arts. In order to avoid causing a disaster in the future, we should let the school thoroughly investigate." Many students looked at Xia Ping with a sneer. They had a bad impression of Xia Ping. They were miserably beaten up by Xia Ping in the past month. Now that they saw the other party in trouble, they didn't hurry to hit him while he was down. "Not convinced?" Xia Ping said lightly, "Do you still want to fight with me? Believe it or not, I can send all of you to the hospital with just one hand. None of you will be able to enter the cloud and mist mountain range. You." Hearing these words, the surrounding students couldn't help but take a step back. Their faces were very ugly. They also clearly remembered Xia Ping's fierceness. He was a super expert who swept Yanhuang University. Although he looked weak now, it was hard to say whether he had tyrannical strength. If they angered the other party, they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Enough. At this time, a middle-aged teacher stood up and stopped the conflict between Xia Ping and others. He said, "This is the school's important place. No conflict is allowed. If I find anyone making a move, I will immediately deprive them of the right to enter the cloud and mist mountain range." He glanced around, exuding a tyrannical aura, oppressing everyone like a mountain. Chapter 385. After the students left, Xia Ping did not continue to pester them. He was injured and it was not suitable for him to fight with others for the time being. He did not want to delay his recovery. "Xia Ping, I feel that your body is not well. Do you want to go to the hospital?" The middle-aged teacher looked at Xia Ping and said, "Although the opportunity to enter the Cloud Mountains is important, your life is more important. Even if entering the Cloud Mountains and obtaining the Water of Life will bring great benefits, it does not mean that your future will not be bright if you do not get it. In fact, there are many students who did not enter the Cloud Mountains but became king-level powerhouses 100 years later." He advised Xia Ping that the Cloud Mountains were very dangerous. If he went in while injured, he would probably die. Xiaoping waved his hand and said, "Teacher, don't worry. This is just a superficial phenomenon. In fact, there is nothing wrong with my body. I will recover soon. There will be no danger in the Cloud Mountains." He showed absolute confidence. "Well, since you said so, it is not convenient for me to say anything else. Be careful." The middle-aged teacher glanced at Xiaoping. Hearing Xiaoping's firm words, he turned around and left. As a teacher, he was only advising Xiaoping out of obligation. Since Xiaoping had made up his mind, it was not convenient for him to say anything else. Xiaoping sat cross-legged on the ground and began to meditate. He did not pay attention to the situation around him and began to cultivate. He did not pay attention to the situation around him as the true qi in his body surged. At this moment, a group of students in the distance was also staring at Xiaoping. "Mu Haoran, do you think the injuries on that kid are real or fake? Or is he just pretending?" Zhu Zijian, the president of the Saber Dao Club, asked. Mu Haoran snorted and said, "It is definitely real. This kind of aura cannot be faked. I think there is definitely something wrong with his body. Otherwise, he would not be so weak. It does not seem like an injury caused by a sneak attack, so I think there must be something wrong with his cultivation." He was 70% to 80% sure. If something really went wrong during cultivation, that would be interesting. In the past month, he bullied us badly enough. This time, when we enter the Cloud Mountain range, we must teach him a lesson. Although only experts below the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm are qualified to enter the Cloud Mist Mountain range, once they enter the Cloud Mist Mountain range and enter this alternate dimension, there will be no such restriction. That's right. Once we enter the Cloud Mist Mountain range, all of us will be able to advance to the martial master realm and break through on the spot. At that time, our strength will increase greatly. That brat will definitely not be our match. When the time comes, even if he's really pretending to be injured, I'll make it real." Many students sneered and emitted a chilling aura, causing others to shiver. They planned to take revenge on Xiaoping after entering the Cloud Mountain range. After all, the Cloud Mist Mountains was an alternate dimension, not Yanhuang University. Even if some people died in there, it was normal. It was impossible to pursue the matter. Mu Haoran and the others clenched their fists tightly and gritted their teeth. They had endured for 3 years and did not advance to the martial master realm just for the opportunity to enter the Cloud Mist Mountain range. Once they entered the Cloud Mist Mountain range, they would not need to continue suppressing their cultivation and would be able to advance to the martial master realm. This was simply a matter of course. If they advanced to the martial master realm, their strength would be more than 10 times stronger. It would be completely different from before. At that time, a mere Xiaoping would be just an ant. They would be able to crush him easily. Xiaoping. It's just a meteor. It will disappear very soon. Shao Yishuan looked coldly at Xiaoping. This time, he had also participated in the Cloud Mist Mountain range and paid a certain price. These days, he had been badly suppressed by Xiaoping. He had lost the title of first place among the freshmen, and his limelight had been completely stolen by Xiaoping. He had even been hurt by many slanderous rumors, saying that he, Shao Yishuan, was a fake. However, he had still endured it and turned a blind eye to it. This made him even more dissatisfied with Xiaoping. If not for this bastard, he would not have suffered such treatment. Without Xiaoping, he would still be the top freshman. His future was boundless and he would be the center of attention. So unlucky. I didn't expect to enter the Cloud Mist Mountain range with this hooligan. Su Ji clenched her fist. Seeing Xiaoping's expression, she was so angry that her teeth itched. However, she did not say anything. She could only automatically ignore this hooligan. After all, the purpose of entering the Cloud Mist Mountain range was to obtain the water of life, not to fight because of personal feelings. Okay, everyone is here. Let's board the warship. A middle-aged teacher stood up. He took out a megaphone and shouted to everyone. Boom! Immediately, a huge super warship descended from the sky. The area inside was very large. It could accommodate hundreds of thousands of people. Right now, Yanhuang University only had 10,000 people. Naturally, it was more than enough. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. One by one, the students walked in, found their seats, and sat down. 2 to 3 hours later, the super battleship flew past mountains after mountains. After flying for hundreds of thousands of kilometers, they encountered countless flying monsters along the way. However, these flying monsters were all shot down by the super battleship. Finally, they arrived in front of a huge mountain range. We're here. The Cloud Mist Mountain Range. Xia Ping looked out of the window and immediately saw a vast and boundless mountain range in the distance. It was majestic and magnificent. However, it was surrounded by a huge layer of fog. The fog covered the sky and seemed to have merged with the clouds in the sky. Strands of heaven and earth yuan qi fell down and intertwined with the sunlight. It was extremely mysterious. The fog seemed to contain a strange power. Even electromagnetic waves could not penetrate it. Any equipment that got close would instantly lose signal. Vaguely, the fog seemed to have isolated the outside space. Go down. A voice sounded from inside the warship. One by one, the students filed out and immediately arrived at the entrance of the Cloud Mist Mountain Range. There was a huge flat land. Even if there were 10,000 people standing there, they would still be extremely small compared to this huge land. However, at this time, many super warships appeared near this land. Many students also came out of these warships. All of them were extremely capable. What's going on? Didn't they say that only Yanhuang University can enter the Cloud Mist Mountain Range? Why are there other people here? A student looked curiously at the people in the distance. Another student said disdainfully, don't you know? In the entire Cloud Realm, Yanhuang University is not the only university. There are also many super cities. These cities also have universities. Chapter 386. Learn. Hearing these words, Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He also knew that there were many other universities in the Cloud Realm besides Yanhuang University. After all, the Cloud Realm was so big and there were so many humans. One university alone was not enough. Although Yanhuang University was the first university on Yanhuang planet and could be called the birthplace of mankind, there were also some universities in the Cloud Realm that were rising stars. After hundreds of years of development, their scale and strength began to catch up with Yanhuang University. For example, Aries College, Black and White Academy, Tianjin University, and other universities could be compared with Yanhuang University. The quality of their students was not inferior to Yanhuang University. These schools also had enrollment plans on Yanhuang planet, but the number of students they enrolled was quite small, which also led to their lack of reputation on Yanhuang planet. However, this did not mean that these schools were not strong. Look, isn't that Xia Ping from Yanhuang University? Students from other schools also immediately noticed the arrival of the students from Yanhuang University. Some people immediately recognized Xia Ping walking in front and immediately shouted. Yes, that kid is Xia Ping from Yanhuang planet. He looks ordinary. I didn't expect him to cause such a big storm as soon as he entered the university. He was promoted to the 8th heaven of the warrior realm and beat a group of older students. This is a bit amazing. The older students of Yanhuang planet are all 9th heaven of the warrior realm. Some of them have endured for 3 years and have not been promoted to the martial master realm. They are constantly honing their martial skills and can be called invincible in the warrior realm. Some of them are even the direct descendants of the king's family, but they are not Xia Ping's opponents. Mu Haoren, president of the Kendo Club, president of the Saber Club, Zhu Zijian, and so on, which one of them is not a famous expert, but they were all beaten to the point of fleeing. That kind of situation is simply horrible. He even established a martial arts club called Pingtian Sect. In just a few days, it developed into the largest martial arts club on Yanhuang planet. His wisdom is extraordinary. What is the origin of this kid? Is a student from Yanhuang Star really so fierce? According to what I know, he isn't from a royal clan, nor does he have a royal bloodline. I don't know. It's a good opportunity to observe. What kind of abilities does this famous freshman of Yanhuang University have? The students of many schools were discussing among themselves as they looked at Xia Ping, who was coming from afar. This was the era of the internet, and the speed at which news spread was extraordinary. Although this incident seemed to only cause a big storm in Yanhuang University, it also spread to the forums of other universities and caused a huge discussion. Roan's stone raises 1,000 waves. After all, he was only a freshman, but he was able to sweep away all the seniors in Yanhuang University. He was invincible, and his combat strength was so strong that it made people's hair stand on end. He even established a martial arts club, which developed rapidly and became the #1 club in Yanhuang University. No matter which topic it was enough to make countless students curious. They wanted to know where this kid came from and what abilities he had to be able to suppress so many geniuses. In the distance, there were also some university teachers gathered together. They had also noticed Xia Ping's appearance. This kid is the recently famous shit stirrer of Yanhuang University. He looks very ordinary. I can't tell that he has the strength to suppress so many geniuses. A teacher's eyes flickered as he observed Xia Ping. Another teacher also nodded. He is indeed ordinary. Why is his aura so weak, as if he had just recovered from a serious illness? Could it be that something went wrong in his cultivation? He could also see that there was something wrong with Xia Ping. He seemed to be seriously injured. I heard that this kid was only at the 5th heaven of the martial artist realm when he entered the school. Now, he has advanced to the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. His cultivation speed is unbelievably fast. He might have cultivated some evil martial arts and now something went wrong. A teacher guessed. It can't be. He actually cultivated evil martial arts. What nonsense. Although these evil martial arts progress quickly in the early stages, the later stages are full of difficulties. Advancing to the martial master realm is already the limit. This is a way to ruin one's future. Basically, there is no hope for the king realm. A teacher in white shook his head and revealed a look of pity. In order to show off in school, he actually cultivated evil martial arts. What an idiot. Cultivation is not a sprint but a marathon. The one who laughs last is the winner. What's the point of running fast for a while? A teacher in black had a disdainful look in his eyes. However, there were also teachers who disagreed. These are all just guesses. Can he defeat those geniuses by cultivating evil martial arts? Those geniuses all claim to be invincible in the martial artist realm, but they were all defeated by this young man. What kind of evil martial arts is so powerful? In my opinion, although he is injured, his steps are firm and his martial arts foundation is solid. He is not cultivating those evil martial arts that overdraft his potential. His future is boundless. He refuted the words of the teachers beside him one by one. Forget it. It is useless to discuss these things here. Let's see what he does after entering the Cloud Mountain range. If he dies in there, everything will be in vain. If he can obtain a large amount of water of life, even if he overdrafts his potential by cultivating evil martial arts, he can use the art of life to make up for it. It all depends on his fate in the future. An old man beside him said in a deep voice. The other teachers did not speak again. They all nodded. This old man was a person of virtue and prestige. As an expert at the peak of the grand power realm, his words were naturally very important. No one dared to ignore them. I didn't expect that I would be so famous. A lot of people know me here. It seems that I am already a celebrity. Xia Ping touched his chin and said happily. Next to him, Su Ji said angrily, how is this famous? It is clearly notorious. She could not bear to see this bastard's smug look, so she was very angry. It is better to be notorious than to be unknown. Xia Ping did not care about Su Ji's thoughts at all. For him, the more famous he was, the better, so that he could easily attract hatred. Su Ji bared her teeth and wanted to hit him. Are you Xia Ping? With a swoosh, a man in black suddenly came over. His pupils were like a poisonous snake, and his whole body exuded a gloomy and cold aura, as if the surrounding temperature had dropped by dozens of degrees, which made people could not help but shiver. Behind him were more than a dozen students, who came to Xia Ping aggressively. Yes, I am Xia Ping. Xia Ping nodded. That's good. There was a trace of coldness in the eyes of the man in black. He suddenly made a move and grabbed with his claw. Like a poisonous snake, his claw meandered in the air in a strange trajectory. The angle was tricky, and the speed was extremely fast. There was even a burst of hissing sound, which made people's hair stand on end and their hearts tremble. Chapter 387. But he also reacted in an instant. True qi circulated in his dantian, covering his whole body. He took a step forward and dodged to the side with a whoosh. Bang! Immediately, a terrifying true qi bombarded over. A rock that was half the height of a person hundreds of meters away was immediately smashed into pieces and scattered on the ground. Everyone's pupils shrunk as they were indescribably shocked. Such an attack was actually able to turn a hard rock into such a state from hundreds of meters away. One could imagine how terrifying this attack was. This man in black was definitely not an ordinary person. He was at least at the level of Muhaoran. Do you only know how to dodge? Dominating the entire Yanhuang University and almost sweeping away the senior students, such a famous expert can only dodge in the face of my attack. What a joke! The man in black laughed out loud. Or is it that the level of martial arts in Yanhuang University is so low that trash like you can stand out? He stared at Xia Ping with a sneer. You sneak attacked me and you still dare to talk big? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and stared at the man in black. Tell me, do you want to break 1 leg, 2 legs, or 3 legs? His body revealed a deep murderous aura. This kid's sneak attacked him and completely infuriated him. Even though he was injured now and only had 30% of his combat power left, he was not someone that a small figure could casually provoke. Ridiculous. You want to break my leg? You should weigh your own strength first. The man in black sneered. With a bang, he took a step forward and a huge deep pit immediately appeared on the ground. Ri's entire body was wriggling like a poisonous snake. The trajectory of his advance was curved and unpredictable. It was as if countless figures of men in black appeared on the scene. In just an instant, dozens of figures appeared, like thousands of poisonous snakes, attacking Xia Ping. They made hissing sounds and wanted to bite him until his body was covered in wounds and blood flowed like a river. Bear-splitting palm. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He took a step forward and a terrifying aura rose. He raised one hand, like an ancient black bear descending, the air within a radius of 100 meters was pressed down, as if falling into a swamp. The ground shook and rumbled. Pieces of gravel were crushed into powder. The mountains shook and the earth quaked. Bang! A palm slapped down from the sky, causing the air to explode. What? The black-clothed man was shocked. He felt as if his body was being pressed down by a huge mountain. Even though there were dozens of figures, they were all covered by this force. This power was incomparably vast and condensed into a tangible form. It was like the rumbling of a war drum. With a boom, his body was struck by this attack, and his entire body was slammed into the ground. The black-clothed man couldn't help but let out a shrill scream. He coughed up blood, and a huge human-shaped pit immediately appeared on the ground. He lay on the ground, unable to move, like a tortoise, and the bones in his body creaked. Xiaoping calmly looked at the man in black. How about now? You can't even take one of my palms. Who's the one who should weigh their own weight? Do you submit? Fuck your submission. The black-clothed man's face was ferocious and flushed. He roared and struggled out of the pit, trying to fight back. He wasn't convinced at all. Not convinced? Kneel down and call me Grandpa. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He slapped out again, and the air shook thousands of times, bombarding the black-clothed man's body. With a slap, the black-clothed man couldn't take it at all. He knelt down towards Xia Ping, and couldn't help but spit out another mouthful of blood. His clothes were stained with blood. Ras, the saying goes, men should have gold under their knees. The black-clothed man was forced to kneel like this, and in front of so many people. For him, this was simply a great humiliation, and he would never be able to erase it in this life. His lungs were about to explode, and the veins on his face bulged. Originally, he only wanted to test this recently famous expert from Yanhuang University, but he didn't expect this to happen. RH couldn't even take one move, and then he was beaten to this state, forced to kneel. He was extremely sullen, and now he even had the thought of killing Xia Ping. Didn't this guy defeat the famous expert Miao Zhe in the school? It is said that he is also an expert from a king family, has the bright-colored snake bloodline, and is an expert at the 9th heaven of martial artists. How tragic. Miao Zhe can be considered to be a match for an expert like Mu Haoren, but now he was beaten to this state by Xia Ping. He has lost all his face. A person's reputation is like a tree's shadow. How can Xia Ping be so famous be a small matter? Serves him right. He probably saw that there was something wrong with Xia Ping's body, so he wanted to test it out. He didn't expect to lose so much face and be forced to kneel. It's incomparably miserable. Didn't he see who Xia Ping is? He swept the entire Yanhuang University, and even the so-called invincible Mu Haoren and the others were no match for him. Miao Zhe wants to be arrogant, but he really overestimates himself. How can an expert be so easily humiliated? This Miao Zhe should learn some manners in the future. The people of Yanhuang University were discussing. Although they were also very unhappy with Xia Ping and didn't have any good impression of this kid, they were even more unhappy with the students of other universities. They felt that they were being looked down upon. Now that Xia Ping had beaten this guy up, it made them feel very happy in their hearts. The only ones whose faces were green were Mu Haoren and the others. When they heard these words, they felt very pained. Although they had lost to Xia Ping, did these bastards need to mention it all the time? They kept saying that it was Xia Ping who had defeated Mu Haoren, Zhu Zijian, and the others. That guy was clearly stepping on their heads to establish his reputation. What face did they have left? Didn't this mean that the more famous this guy was, the more humiliated they would be? So that's how it is. You are called Miao Zhe. Do you admit defeat now? Xia Ping looked down at Miao Zhe. Miao Zhe gritted his teeth and shouted angrily, I admit defeat my ass. He was arrogant and unruly. Xia Ping nodded and wanted to attack again. If he was not convinced, then he would beat him until he was convinced. Stop! With a bang, a punch came from afar. It was like a wolf's howl, shaking the mountain forest and attacking Xia Ping with irresistible force. The attack power of this punch was actually twice as terrifying as the black-clothed man's. Xia Ping sensed danger. He turned around and slapped out with his palm, colliding with the fist energy. In an instant, the power of the fist energy was disintegrated, but the aftermath of the fist energy still forced him back a few steps. Squinted his eyes and saw a young man walking over from afar. He was wearing green clothes and emitted a wild aura. There was actually a crack between his brows, as if he had a third eye. It was incomparably mysterious. Chapter 388. Isn't that the top student of Aries College, Nye Zhen? I heard that he's the son of the Wolf King, Nye Wudao, and has the bloodline of the three-eyed wolf. The famous Nye family is indeed extraordinary. Even in Aries College, where there are many strong people, Nye Zhen still stands above everyone else. His strength is undeniable. I heard that the three-eyed wolf bloodline is extremely noble. Once the third eye is opened, it will possess all sorts of incredible power. And the Wolf King, Nye Wudao, relied on this power to become a famous king. Everyone discussed and stared at the young man walking over slowly from afar. They seemed to feel oppressed by a tyrannical wild aura, almost suffocating. Even Mu Haoren, Zhu Zijian, Xiao Yishuan, and the rest could not help but narrow their eyes. This was an unprecedented opponent, a future king. He was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Xia Ping, you've gone too far. Nye Zhen stepped forward. He was 2 meters tall and had a strong body, like a young wolf king. His eyes were arrogant as he stared at Xia Ping. Miao Zhe is a student of Aries College. You actually dared to make him kneel and humiliate his dignity. Do you think there is no one in Aries College? Don't even think of leaving if you don't give an explanation. His tone was incomparably domineering and unquestionable. Too far. Xia Ping suddenly laughed. He suddenly launched a sneak attack, and his methods were ruthless. If not for my ability, I would have been seriously injured by him. Who's the one who's gone too far? He looked at Nye Zhen. The truth is that you weren't seriously injured, but Miao Zhe was. He was even forced to kneel and humiliated in front of everyone. You've gone too far, and you should apologize. Nye Zhen's tone was stern. Xia Ping laughed coldly. A robber broke into the house and tried to kill and rob. Master resisted and seriously injured the robber, and now it's the master's fault. The master shouldn't have injured him. This is simply the biggest joke in the world. You injured him, forced him to kneel, and humiliated Aries College. This is a mistake. If you don't want to admit your mistake, then I will admit it on your behalf. Nye Zhen's eyes were cold, like a sword in the dark night, with a threatening chill. He immediately wanted to make a move. Swoosh! In the blink of an eye, a ray of cold light slashed down from the sky, emitting a sword will that could pierce through the sky. It was as if the sky was going to be split open, containing a terrifying power. Sensing this sword intent, Nye Zhen narrowed his eyes. He did not make a move. Instead, he stared at a white-robed young man walking over from afar with vigilance in his eyes. With a dong sound, the extremely sharp sword qi smashed into the ground, creating a 10-meter-wide crater. The ground trembled hundreds of times, producing a terrifying destructive force. Who is this fellow? He actually dares to attack in front of Nye Zhen. Are you courting death? Some people didn't recognize this white-robed man. You don't know this person. He is the #1 expert of the Black-White Academy, Chou Wanqian. It's said that he has the Golden Crane bloodline and is born with a sword body. His sword cultivation has already reached the acme of perfection, and his sword techniques are unrivaled in Deity University. Nye Zhen had fought with Chou Wanqian before. However, they were evenly matched several times. Many people discussed spiritedly as they recognized the true identity of the white-robed man. Chou Wanqian, you want to stop me? Nye Zhen frowned and stared at the white-robed man in front of him, Chou Qianwan. I'm not stopping you. I'm just warning you. The white-robed man, Chou Qianwan, said calmly, Nye Zhen, the Cloud Mist mountain range is about to open. Why do you need to fight here and cause a commotion? If there's anything, we can talk after we enter the Cloud Mist mountain range. Ha, Chou Qianwan, what you said is wrong. There's no need to set a venue for fighting. If you want to fight, you can fight. If you want to kill, you can kill. Seeing you guys fighting, my hands are also itching. Do you want to fight? With a boom, a figure suddenly fell from the sky, instantly creating a huge crater. Dozens of huge cracks appeared, and cracking sounds rang out. After the dust settled, a 3-meter-tall man appeared. He had a head full of red hair that seemed to be burning with flames. His huge physique was like that of a berserk lion. His muscles swelled up, emitting an extreme pressure. The surrounding students were all shocked and retreated dozens of steps. This golden-haired man's aura was even more terrifying than Nie Zhen's and Chou Wanqian's. He was like an overlord who ruled over millions of mountains and rivers. No one could go against his will. Tianjin University's Chang Bin. Someone exclaimed. They also recognized the red-haired man's identity. This person was Tianjin University's #1 expert, Chang Bin. He had the Fire Lion's bloodline. I didn't expect that even Chang Bin would make a move. This guy is crazy. He's addicted to fighting. This is bad. If even Chang Bin makes a move, things will definitely get out of hand. He won't stop until a few people are seriously injured. I heard that in Tianjin University, this guy is also a troublemaker. He sent hundreds of students to the hospital the moment he entered the school. They had to lie in bed for a whole week before they recovered and were discharged. His Fire Lion's bloodline is extremely violent. Once he gets angry, even 10 monsters can't hold him back. He's definitely a ticking time bomb. No one dares to provoke him. Many students revealed expressions of fear. They had all heard about Chang Bin. He was also a troublemaker in Tianjin University. Who knew how much trouble he had caused? If he wasn't a descendant of the Chang family, he would have been killed by someone. Some students' faces turned green. Yanhuang University's Xia Ping, Tianjin University's Chang Bin, Black and White College's Chou Wanqian, and Aries College's Nie Zhen. The #1 experts of the 4 big schools had all appeared. This was clearly a fierce battle. In the distance, some university teachers were also observing the situation here. However, they were unmoved. They seemed to want to see the direct descendants of these students and had no intention of stopping them. Seeing Chou Wanqian and Chang Bin appear, Nie Bin narrowed his eyes. He looked at Xia Ping and said, "Consider yourself lucky. With these two here, don't let me see you next time. Otherwise, I'll definitely take your life." His tone was murderous. "There's no need for next time. If you have the ability, come and bite me now," Xia Ping said disdainfully. He directly provoked him. Although he was injured now, he was not afraid of anything. Nie Zhen clenched his fists, but then loosened them. He did not say anything. He went forward, rescued Miao Zhe, and turned to leave. Chou Wanqian stood at the side with an indifferent expression. It was as if nothing could shake his mind. "Kid, I heard that you're very strong. Do you want to fight?" Chang Bin's eyes lit up as he stared at Xia Ping. However, at this moment, before Xia Ping could speak, the entire cloud mist mountain range began to shake. Countless clouds were trembling, as if a giant dragon was turning over. "The cloud mist mountain range has opened." A student immediately exclaimed. Chapter 389. Rumble. At this moment, countless clouds trembled. In a few breaths' time, a huge door appeared in the cloud mountain range. It was deep inside and exuded a mysterious aura. No one knew where it led to. "The cloud mountain range is open. Go in quickly." A teacher shouted, "This passageway can last for a month. That means you can stay in the cloud mountain range for a month. However, the door will disappear after a month. You must hurry up. Otherwise, you will never be able to come out again." Hearing this, the surrounding students immediately moved. They rushed towards the door. However, the door was huge and could accommodate hundreds of people at one time. It was not crowded. Swoosh! 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 Nie Zhen and the others did not hesitate and immediately rushed towards the door. After all, time waited for no man. The earlier they entered, the greater the advantage they had. Xia Ping also moved and followed the crowd through the door. Once he entered the door, Xia Ping immediately discovered that a long tunnel appeared in front of him. The ground seemed to be paved with white jade. There were dense inscriptions carved on it, containing an incredible power. The moment he entered the door, an inexplicable power descended and immediately understood all the secrets of his body. It was as if it was probing his martial arts realm. However, this feeling was fleeting. If not for Xia Ping's strong mental strength, he would not have felt it. So that's how it is. No wonder martial mentor realm experts are unable to enter. If this mysterious force is here, experts above the martial mentor realm will be killed instantly. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. He could feel the mysterious power. No martial artist would be able to resist this power. It was a power that was close to the rules. However, he did not investigate where this power came from. The most important thing now was to enter the Cloud Mountain range. He quickly ran towards the tunnel. After running for 10 kilometers, he finally left the tunnel. I'm out. This is the Cloud Mountain range. A student said happily. He had finally left the tunnel. What's going on? Why is the Cloud Mountain range like this? Someone was dumbfounded as he looked at the scene in front of him. This area was filled with dense demonic qi. The ground was covered in pitch-black soil. In the distance, there was a swamp with rolling poisonous gas. Huge black trees grew in the surroundings, forming a dense black forest. White skeletons lay on the ground, appearing deep and terrifying. Many students were shocked as well. From the outside, the Cloud Mist mountain range should be no different from an ordinary mountain range. It should be lush and lush, with countless trees growing on top of each other. But now this mountain range was simply a demonic domain. The atmosphere was even colder than the Een Corpse mountain range. Why is it like this? Didn't any of you receive the information? The Cloud Mist mountain range itself is a demonic domain, a student said in a deep voice. He already knew a lot about the Cloud Mist mountain range. Demon domain? Xia Ping's eyes twinkled. He knew less than these students who were born and raised in the Cloud realm. Fortunately, this information was not top secret, and many people knew about it. Someone asked, why is this a demonic domain? If this is the infernal domain, why would the water of life be here? You should know what kind of treasure the water of life is. It is a secret treasure with extreme yang energy. It is said to be the nemesis of Een attribute creatures. It is holy water. A student clenched his fist and said, legend has it that the water of life was extracted from an alternate space by an ancient almighty and placed in the Cloud Mist mountain range to suppress an ancient demon. It can be said that the Cloud Mist mountain range is an alternate space to seal an ancient demon. What? Many students were shocked. It was the first time for many of them to hear this news. They did not expect this to be an alternate space to seal an ancient demon. And the water of life was a sacred item prepared to suppress the ancient demon. I heard about this too. Another student nodded and said, it is said that the water of life is in the center of the Cloud Mist mountain range. A huge sealing altar was built there to suppress an ancient demon. And the water of life is in the center of the altar, forming a huge lake. However, the center of the Cloud Mist mountain range is very strange. There seems to be a huge space fold. It is simply a space maze. It is extremely vast and it is not easy to reach the center. Not to mention that we only have 1 month. Once a month passes, the space door will be completely closed and we will only have a chance to leave after 3 or 4 years. He also said what he knew. Why must we go out? If there is water of life here, then we can stay in the Cloud Mist mountain range and cultivate in seclusion for 4 years to absorb the energy of the water of life. When that time comes, it will definitely be faster than cultivating in the outside world. Someone wanted to cultivate in the Cloud Mist mountain range for a few years. Someone sneered and said, if this could be done, people would have done it long ago. Unfortunately, Once the gate of the Cloud Mist mountain range is closed, the entire mountain range will be filled with a poisonous fog. Even a king realm expert will die a horrible death if he breathes in this poisonous fog. Previously, some students tried to play tricks and deliberately stayed in the Cloud Mist mountain range. However, the next time the gate opens, they will only be a pile of bones. This is a lesson learned in blood. We must learn from it. He looked disdainfully at the student who had tried to play tricks. The others also had a lingering fear in their hearts. In fact, they also wanted to play tricks like this. After all, after leaving the Cloud Mist mountain range, there might not be such good treasures in other places. Even if there were good treasures, they would be taken by the King Realm experts. Only the Cloud Mist mountain range, which prohibited King Realm experts from entering, would have a chance to obtain treasures. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He sensed a trace of a dangerous aura and looked into the distance. Rumble at this moment, a loud rumbling sound came from afar. It covered the sky and covered the earth like a tide. Then, a humanoid monster appeared in front of everyone. These monsters had horns on their heads, wings on their backs, hands and feet, and looked like humans. Their skin was completely red and they held steel spears in their hands. They flew over from afar at an extremely fast speed. Hee, stupid humans actually dare to enter the Cloud Mist mountain range. They don't even know how they will die. Little ones, devour the flesh and blood of these humans. Today, we will have a delicious meal, a monster shouted loudly. The sound of killing filled the air and the demonic aura soared into the sky. Hearing these words, these monsters all shouted loudly. Their mouths emitted a sharp sound that was deafening and formed visible ripples in the air. Oh no, these are bat demons, monsters of the Cloud Mist mountain range. Chapter 390. Bang bang bang. As soon as these bat demons appeared, they immediately engaged in close combat with the students. The air vibrated in mid-air, like the roar of cannonballs, and an intense battle broke out. Foolish human, obediently die for us. The only value of humans is food. You are only worthy of being our food, do you understand? I've been hungry and thirsty for a long time. Kill these humans, kill them with all your might. The bat demons roared loudly, causing the air to tremble and creating a terrifying destructive power. Cracks appeared on the ground as the ground trembled to the extreme. They relied on their large numbers, numbering in the tens of thousands, to surround and kill the students. Damned bat demon, you dare to attack us with just you? You're courting death. A student shouted angrily. The aura on his body rose and immediately became 10 times more tyrannical. With a pa sound, Shaochen actually advanced to the martial master realm in an instant. He comprehended the power of quintessence, his strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. Bang bang bang. At this moment, it was not only this student. Hundreds of students released their auras and finally broke through to the martial master realm at this moment. They had been in the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm for a very long time. They had only suppressed their cultivation in order to obtain the opportunity to enter the Cloud Mist mountain range. However, after entering the Cloud Mist mountain range, they no longer needed to suppress their true qi. All of them released their true qi and absorbed a large amount of heaven and earth yuan qi to break through to the martial master realm. One could imagine that the aura of hundreds of martial masters at the same time was simply earth-shattering. It was as though even the sky was trembling. The bat demons in the sky could not withstand this aura and were all severely injured. They fell from the sky and smashed into minced meat. It was a tragic sight. Furthermore, this was just the beginning. In just a few breaths of time, there were already more than 1,000 students who had broken through to the martial master realm. Furthermore, the number was still increasing rapidly. It would not be long before thousands of martial mentor realm experts appeared. When the bat demons saw this scene, their faces turned green. Initially, they thought that these humans were just food. With the strength of a martial artist, it would be easy for them to kill them. But who would have thought that these humans would break through their bottlenecks one by one, evolving from sheep to lions? It was a terrifying mess. Kill them now. We absolutely cannot let these damned humans break through. The bat demons began to go crazy. They desperately wanted to stop these humans from breaking through. Otherwise, they would all be killed by these humans. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Immediately, more than a dozen terrifying bat demons with the strength of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm surrounded Xiaoping. They flew through the air and tried to stab Xiaoping to death with the spears in their hands. Courting death. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a cold light. He revolved the true essence within his body and let out a roar. Heavenly Dragon's 8 notes. Woo. Croak. Paw. Well. Bang. Ah. Bang. Bang. At this moment, the power of the 8 syllables burst out. Moreover, this was the power of the spiritual ether, which was completely different from the spiritual qi. The power of the 8 syllables seemed to have solidified. In mid-air, the originally transparent sound waves were now vaguely materializing. It was as if the human eye could see the 8 syllables of the heavenly dragon's music. This kind of power was many times more tyrannical than before. It already had the embryonic form of a heavenly dragon's roar. This kind of power was enough to kill any ferocious beast. Bang! Bang! Immediately, more than a dozen bat demons were attacked by the sound waves. Their entire bodies were shaken hundreds of times by the power, as if their lungs had suffered thousands of attacks. In just a few breaths, they were bleeding from their 7 orifices and were instantly killed. Their huge bodies fell from the sky and smashed hard on the ground, creating a deep pit. Soil splashed everywhere. What? When the other bat demons saw this, they were all scared half to death. They instinctively felt that this human's strength was terrifying. With just a roar, the sound waves shook and killed more than a dozen of their companions. It was too terrifying. In an instant, they flew to other places, wanting to deal with other weak humans. Oh no, the speed at which the true essence is being consumed is too fast. I can't fight with these bat demons here for too long. Xiaoping suddenly frowned. He felt that the true essence in his body was being consumed rapidly. He was originally injured and had not yet recovered. Now, he was fighting with Miao Zhe and the others and fighting with the bat demons. If this continued, he would be at the mercy of others when the true essence in his body was exhausted. I have to find a place to hide and recover from my injuries. Xiaoping's eyes flickered. He no longer wanted to fight with these bat demons. Even if he won, there would not be many benefits. It was better to wait until his injuries were healed. Kunpeng steps. Thinking of this, he immediately used Kunpeng steps and operated the power of the true essence in his body. At this moment, some dense mysterious lines appeared on his back, and a pair of solid wings grew out. They were no longer transparent and illusory like before. This pair of wings was just like the wings of a Kunpeng. It had the power to control the airflow. With a gentle flap, he moved forward like a supersonic plane. At this moment, Xiaoping felt that his body seemed to have integrated with the airflow. The surrounding air was no longer an obstacle to him, but a driving force for him. Even his mental strength was integrated with the surroundings, and he could grasp the mystery of every inch of the air. Yes, this is the feeling. As he operated the power of the true essence, Xiaoping felt that he seemed to have a deeper understanding of the secret skill of Kunpeng steps. This king-level secret skill was not that simple. Only when one reached the martial master realm would he be able to display its true power. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, his whole body seemed to have turned into a Kunpeng. He could control the airflow at will. Front, back, left, and right, he was extremely fast. He flew forward like a phantom. So fast. How can this guy be so fast? What kind of skill is he practicing? The students next to him also noticed Xia Ping's movements and were immediately shocked. They saw Xia Ping flying like a big bird, even faster than the bat demons. Moreover, there were countless enemies around him, but none of them could get close to him. Even their attacks were directed to other places, unable to hurt Xia Ping at all. The bat demons were shocked and angry, but there was nothing they could do. They could only watch Xia Ping leave quickly. In a few breaths, Xia Ping left the battlefield and ran toward the mountains in the distance. He escaped. Chapter 391. Damn it, he actually ran away. Miao Zhe clenched his fists and looked at Xia Ping's disappearing figure with reluctance. He had originally wanted to find Xia Ping for revenge after he advanced to the martial master realm. However, he did not expect that the brat would escape. Once they were separated in the Cloud Mist Mountains, it would not be so easy to find the brat for revenge. Don't worry, he can't escape. Nie Zhen's eyes flashed coldly. No matter what, he will always want the water of life, so he will definitely go to the center of the Cloud Mist Mountains. When that time comes, you can find him to settle the score. There was a hint of killing intent in his tone. He found Xia Ping to be an eyesore. Xia Ping actually dared to boast shamelessly to him in front of so many people. If he didn't teach him a lesson, others would really think that he, Nie Zhen, was a pushover that could be pinched at will. Brother Nie, when the time comes, I hope that you can also kill that brat. That bastard actually dared to force me, Miao Zhe, to kneel in front of so many people. This is a great humiliation. If I don't kill that brat, I will not be able to vent my anger. Miao Zhe gritted his teeth, his hatred overflowing. Who was Miao Zhe? He was a descendant of the Miao family, a ninth heaven of the martial warrior realm expert, and a famous figure in Ares College. Ever since he was young, he had always been a proud and arrogant person. Other than Nie Zhen, no one could make him submit. One could imagine how proud he was, but he had been treated like a dog by Xia Ping. He had even been forced to kneel in front of Xia Ping. He had never experienced such humiliation before. This was the first time. Don't worry. Humiliating you is equivalent to humiliating Ares College. It is equivalent to slapping my face. He will definitely die, Nie Zhen said calmly. He was like a high and mighty king who could decide the life and death of his subordinates. Hearing this, Miao Zhe was immediately very satisfied. With Nie Zhen, no matter how strong this brat was, he would definitely die. There was no chance of him surviving. Furthermore, this fellow was only at the 8th heaven of the martial warrior realm. It was impossible for him to advance to the martial master realm in a short period of time. However, Miao Zhe was different from Nie Zhen. He had already reached the peak of the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm and could advance to the martial master realm at any time. Once he broke through to the martial master realm, Xia Ping would be nothing more than an ant. Just you wait. The next time you appear in front of me will be the day you die. Miao Zhe gritted his teeth. These words were practically spat out from his teeth, containing a monstrous hatred. At this time, Xia Ping used the Kunpeng steps and entered deep into the misty mountain range, shaking off the pursuit of countless bat demons. Along the way, he passed through many mountains and finally found a hidden cave. This cave was surrounded by mountains and rocks. The location was remote, and there were no demons around. It was a good place for seclusion, and there was no need to worry about others disturbing him. Therefore, he immediately decided to cultivate in seclusion in this cave to recover from his injuries. Whoosh! Xia Ping entered the cave and blocked the entrance with a rock. Then, he casually sat cross-legged on the ground. Wood elemental pill. He took out a bottle from his body. These pills were all obtained from Su Yunlong. Previously, he had not had the chance to use them because he had been busy heading to the Cloud Mist mountain range. Now, the opportunity had finally come. According to the information he had found, these wood elemental pills not only had a strong medicinal effect, but they could also heal injuries, containing the essence of wood. Once consumed, the injuries on one's body would recover rapidly. Hualala Xia Ping immediately swallowed a wood elemental pill. At the same time, he activated the pure yang immortal art. Immediately, the image of a sun furnace appeared in the depths of his dantian. Immediately, the wood elemental pill entered the depths of his dantian and was instantly burned by a dark red flame. It was quickly refined, and then turned into strands of green medicinal qi, entering his meridians. So comfortable. Xia Ping could not help but moan. The green medicinal qi contained the energy of life. It flowed into every part of his body. His injured meridians, lungs, muscles, bones, and other parts of his body rapidly healed. The green energy was full of vitality, as if a tree was growing in his body. Combined with the medicinal qi of the youth returning pill, his injuries rapidly healed. At the same time, the true qi in his body was also growing rapidly, filling up his 9th acupoint, strengthening his true qi. How powerful! I actually managed to refine a wood elemental pill in such a short period of time. Is this the might of the pure yang immortal art? Xia Ping clenched his fists tightly. He could feel that the sun furnace in the depths of his dantian had become even clearer. He knew that the sun furnace was a qigong phenomenon formed when the pure yang immortal art was cultivated to a certain level. All sorts of unfathomable abilities would appear. Once the sun furnace was completely formed, as long as Xia Ping swallowed any pills or spirit herbs, he would be able to instantly refine them, cleansing the impurities in his body. One must know that if one consumed too many pills or spirit herbs, impurities would be left behind in the body, affecting the body and leaving behind some shackles. This would make it even harder to break through. Many cultivators had consumed too many pills and were stuck at the peak of the martial master realm or the peak of the grandmaster realm, unable to break through in their entire lives. But with this sun furnace, it was like having an 8 trigrams cauldron in one's body. It was able to filter out all sorts of impurities from pills and spirit herbs, obtaining the greatest benefits. I'll continue to consume them, swallow them all. Xia Ping swallowed the remaining 3 to 4 wood elemental pills as he circulated the pure yang immortal art. The sun furnace in the depths of his dantian appeared as a large amount of heaven and earth fire gushed out. The dark red flames burned ferociously, producing a terrifying temperature. After swallowing the 3 to 4 wood elemental pills, traces of green medicinal qi were instantly refined into his body, infusing it into his limbs and bones. The injuries on his body were also recovering rapidly as the true qi in his body increased rapidly. These wood elemental pills were extremely precious pills that were not inferior to the profound Yin pill. Even for a powerful martial master like Su Yunlong, he would have to pay a hefty price to obtain them. But now that Xia Ping had obtained them, it was sufficient to save him several years of cultivation time. Just like that, he cultivated for 3 days and 3 nights. Xia Ping stayed in the cave and cultivated bitterly. Because of the battle with Su Yunlong, the injuries he had sustained had already been completely healed after 3 days. Maybe this was a blessing in disguise. After recovering from these injuries, the strength of his body was even stronger than before, increasing by at least 50%. Even the true qi in his body increased rapidly. He had already reached the peak of the 9th layer of the martial disciple realm. The true qi in his 9th acupoint was rapidly filled up, and his strength and mental energy were both greatly enhanced. Even his true qi was growing rapidly. Right now, Xia Ping could execute 40 martial master level attacks. Chapter 392. Bang! Xia Ping punched out, and a huge boulder blocking the entrance of the cave was instantly smashed into pieces. The shockwave spread out in all directions, causing the ground to tremble. Whew! He drew in a deep breath and sensed the fresh air outside. His mental energy permeated the surroundings, and at this moment, he felt that his comprehension of heaven and earth had deepened. It was as though there was only a thin barrier in front of him. As long as he broke through it, he would be able to step into the martial master realm and comprehend the mysteries of true energy. Once he broke through to the martial master realm, he would be able to be called a martial grandmaster. Just a little bit more. Xia Ping circulated the pure yang immortal art in his body. His true energy flowed around his meridians like a flood dragon, causing rumbling sounds as though there was a huge dragon roaring in the air. The true energy in his dantian entered the solar furnace and was instantly converted into true energy, turning into a dark red liquid that resembled lava. This power allowed him to exert great power with every move he made. It could be said that the current him was completely capable of fighting against 3 of his previous selves. It's already been 3 days. It's time to head to the center of the Cloud Mist mountain range and obtain the water of life. Xia Ping clenched his fists. This was the supreme treasure of the Cloud Mist mountain range, he definitely wouldn't miss it. But just as he was about to take a few steps forward, he suddenly raised his head and saw a large group of red clouds floating in the air, emitting a towering demonic chi. And that red cloud was actually a large group of bat demons. There were at least 100 of them. Human. There's a lone human here. A bat demon immediately noticed Xia Ping's location and let out a shrill voice that caused one's feet to go numb. Ha, this is great. Even the heavens are helping me. He's alone in this place. It's hard for him to not die. These humans have caused us so much trouble these few days. Who knows how many of our brothers they've killed. Now, we finally have a chance to kill a human and take revenge for our fallen brothers. I'm definitely going to eat his flesh raw. No one can stop me. Kill him immediately. The large group of bat demons roared in anger. They flapped their wings and rushed over, wanting to kill Xia Ping and eat his flesh raw. They didn't even want to waste words with him. Humans and demons were natural enemies. It was impossible for them to coexist peacefully. You want to kill me? You overestimate yourself. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. The real elemental energy in the depths of his dantian boiled like lava. His body immediately erupted with a terrifying aura, crushing towards these bat demons. Immovable Buddha palm. He took a step forward and struck out with his palm. Immediately, a deafening sound of Sanskrit rang out in the void, as if countless Buddhas were chanting in the depths of the dimension. A golden hand that seemed to be made of gold slapped out from the void. However, this Buddha's hand was completely different from before. It was surrounded by dark red flames, as if it carried the Buddha's anger. This kind of flame contained the energy of extreme yang. It could burn and purify everything. It was the flame of Buddha that could cleanse the world of impurities and demons. Bang bang bang. The palm strike shook the heavens and the earth. Its power was more than 10 times stronger than before. It ruthlessly bombarded the group of bat demons in the air from hundreds of meters away. Immediately, the sky burst into flames, instantly burning the group of bat demons. The huge force surged like a raging tide, with infinite power. Ah ah ah. The group of bat demons immediately let out shrill screams, more miserable than the sound of pigs being slaughtered. Their bodies were touched by the flames, and suddenly, their whole bodies were burning. The demon chi in their bodies was like gasoline, burning in an instant. Their meridians, blood, and bones were all covered by this dark red flame. Damn it, how can this human be so abnormal? What kind of flame is this? Why can't we get rid of it? Save us, save us. Human grandpa, don't kill us, please spare our lives. Damn human, if you dare to kill us, I will not let you go even if I become a ghost. Every day, I will hang myself on your bed, and at night, I will stare at you, stare at you. No, 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 I can't die like this. I still want to become a great demon, a great demon. Hundreds of bat demons were shrouded in flames. They struggled desperately, roared, and used all means to try to get rid of this terrible flame, hoping to extinguish it. But no matter how they struggled, how they wailed, they could not get rid of the burning flame. Instead, the more they struggled, the more they used the demon chi, the more they would be burned. In just a few breaths, hundreds of bat demons fell to the ground, burned into charcoal, black, and smashed into the ground, creating deep pits and banging sounds. Too powerful, this is the embryonic form of the sun's real fire. Xia Ping was also shocked by his own palm strike. He did not expect that one palm strike could kill hundreds of bat demons. This was not because his palm force was so strong, but because there was a trace of the sun's real fire in his body. Such power was simply the strongest nemesis of demons. Although this was not the real power of the sun's real fire, but some superficial power, in time, his cultivation would improve, and he would be able to completely control the power of the sun's real fire. At that time, with a single palm strike, everything within 1,000 li radius would be turned into a sea of fire, and the forests would instantly turn into barren desert. It was rumored that when the Taishang Laojuan's 8 trigrams furnace dropped a trace of flames, it formed a blazing mountain. For tens of millions of years, it was covered in flames, completely changing the entire region, changing the heavens and earth. If he cultivated the pure yang immortal art to the highest realm, he might be able to achieve the same might. These are demonic cores. Xia Ping took a step forward and immediately saw the charred bat demons beside them. With a gust of wind, dust billowed, revealing hundreds of black demonic cores. These demonic cores were the essence of the bat demons and contained a large amount of energy. However, although they contained a large amount of energy, they also contained the aura of demons and devils. If ordinary cultivators consumed them rashly, they would most likely be demonized by this trace of demonic chi. This was considered a poisonous substance. Unless it was processed by an alchemy grandmaster, the demonic chi would be completely cleansed. Only then would one be able to consume it, devour it, and there would be no risk of demonization. Good stuff. However, Xia Ping's eyes brightened. Although to ordinary cultivators, they had to be purified by an alchemy grandmaster before they could devour these demonic cores, a sun furnace appeared on his body. Once his sun furnace was completely formed, even if he devoured these demonic cores, he would be able to instantly purify the demonic chi and wouldn't be harmed at all. The benefits were boundless. Chapter 393. At this moment, 7 or 8 people were running quickly in the mountain range. They were searching the cloud mist mountains for various treasures and benefits. The person in the lead was Miao Zhe. He didn't go to the center of the cloud mist mountains immediately. Instead, he chose to search for various spiritual herbs nearby. He wanted to plunder all the spiritual herbs in this place before entering the cloud mist mountains to snatch the water of life. After all, it was very difficult to obtain the water of life. If they didn't get it within the stipulated time, then their trip to the cloud mist mountains would be a waste. Therefore, they wanted to plunder some spiritual herbs in the cloud mist mountains as compensation. Even if they didn't get the water of life, it wouldn't be a wasted trip. Brother Miao, look. Isn't that Xia Ping? Suddenly, a student with sharp eyes instantly discovered Xia Ping, who was 3 to 4 kilometers away. He cultivated the eagle eye technique. Even from 10 kilometers away, he could see the enemy's tracks. It was very sharp and was no different from a real eagle. What? It's Xia Ping. Hearing this, Miao Zhe immediately became excited. In fact, one of the reasons he chose to plunder spiritual herbs was to find Xia Ping for revenge. However, after searching for 3 whole days, he couldn't find any trace of Xia Ping. Now, he finally found him. This was simply great luck. That's right, it's that damned bastard. Miao Zhe also stared into the distance. He could vaguely see Xia Ping's figure. Instantly, his heart filled with hatred and he couldn't help but clench his fists. At this moment, he also remembered the great humiliation he suffered outside the cloud mist mountains. This kind of anger couldn't be suppressed at all. New hatred and old hatred surged up together. Brother Miao, what do we do now? A student couldn't help but ask. Miao Zhe's expression was incomparably fierce. What else can we do? Kill him. His tone was resolute and there was no room for doubt. Yes. The other 7 students also nodded without hesitation. They had done things like killing countless times and were very familiar with it. Whoosh! 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 Just as Xia Ping collected the demon cores and was about to leave, suddenly, 5 or 6 black spears were thrown from afar. They tore through the air at an extremely fast speed, surpassing the speed of sound. In an instant, they arrived in front of Xia Ping, wanting to pierce through his body. Whoosh! Xia Ping instinctively reacted and immediately used the Kunpeng steps. A pair of wings condensed from quintessential essence appeared on his back. With a gentle flap, he instantly flew hundreds of meters away from his original position. Bang bang bang! The black spears fiercely stabbed into the ground, instantly creating 5 to 6 huge craters. Soil flew everywhere, and the earth trembled. More than a dozen densely packed cracks appeared, extending for hundreds of meters. One could totally imagine how terrifying the power of these spears was. If Xia Ping had not dodged in time, he would have been pierced by these spears and died without a burial. Miao Zhe. Xia Ping raised his head and looked into the distance. He immediately saw 7 or 8 students leaping from afar and arriving in front of him in a few breaths. They exuded a strong aura and all of them were experts in the first heaven of the martial mentor realm. The person in the lead was Miao Zhe. What a lucky bastard. He's actually still alive. Miao Zhe was very unhappy. He had originally wanted to launch a sneak attack and kill him. However, he did not expect that the other party would still be able to dodge at the crucial moment and escape with his life. You actually want to launch a sneak attack and assassinate me? Do you know that this is a serious crime? If I report this to the school, all of you will not be able to bear the consequences. You will all be in jail for the rest of your lives. Do you understand? Xia Ping stared at this group of people with a murderous look in his eyes. If he did not have the strength to dodge in time, he was afraid that the spears would have pierced through his body. This was a crime of murder. A trace of anger surged in his heart. This group of people was too unscrupulous. A serious crime? Miao Zhe seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He laughed wildly and said, "Don't you know? In the Cloud Mist Mountains, it is a place outside the law. It is a trial ground. Even the federal government can't interfere here. In other words, no matter what happens here, no one is guilty of killing anyone. After you leave, no one is allowed to pursue what happened here. Moreover, before entering the Cloud Mist Mountains, we all signed a life and death contract. Don't tell me you don't know about this." He stared at Xia Ping with a murderous look. "Brother Miao, why are you talking nonsense with this kid? Just kill him immediately. How dare he bully Brother Miao? That is equivalent to bullying Aries College and humiliating us. This is a crime punishable by death. Brother Niezhen said long ago that when we see Xia Ping, there is no need to show mercy. Kill him without mercy." 6 or 7 Aries College students stared at Xia Ping fiercely. Their bodies emitted a terrifying murderous aura. They had all received orders from Niezhen to kill Xia Ping. Although Xia Ping had shown some strength previously, that was in the past. After entering the Cloud Mist Mountains, all of them had advanced to the Martial Master realm. Their strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. It was not something that Xia Ping could compare to. Although Xia Ping might surpass them in the future, at this moment, they were stronger than Xia Ping. Moreover, they would not give Xia Ping the chance to grow. They had to kill this scourge. Kill. Miao Zhe laughed coldly. He no longer wanted to talk nonsense with Xia Ping. He attacked with all his strength. At this moment, he had also advanced to the Martial Master realm. His whole body was filled with the power of spiritual yuan. Whoosh! In an instant, a large amount of black aura surged out of his pores. It was like a black fog that filled the sky. Along the way, the weeds on the ground withered. Even the soil turned into a black swamp that contained an extremely toxic poison. After advancing to the martial master realm, Miao Zhe's multicolored snake bloodline had been completely activated. His blood contained the multicolored snake's venom. Even his spiritual yuan carried poisonous gas. With every move, he could explode with terrifying power. If an ordinary martial artist breathed in this poisonous gas, they would immediately die in less than 3 seconds. With this kind of power, he was invincible in the Cloud Mist mountain range and killed countless fiendish demons. You are courting death. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light. He took a step forward and punched the air. A huge flaming fist blasted out, and the surrounding air was pushed away in all directions. This punch was powerful and heavy. It was like the roar of a bear. The terrifying flames burned the poisonous gas clean in an instant. It was completely purified. It could not even get within 3 meters of Xia Ping. Dong! With a punch in the air, the terrifying fist force landed solidly on Miao Zhe's head. In an instant, Miao Zhe's entire body was sent flying like a ball. Chapter 394. Puff. Miao Zhe couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood, staining his clothes red. He looked at Xia Ping in disbelief. Impossible, Miao Zhe, have lost. I was actually defeated by a single punch and couldn't even fight back. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? Illusion, this is definitely an illusion. He couldn't believe this had happened at all. One had to know that he had now advanced to the martial master realm, and his strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. His opponent was at most in the 8th heaven of the martial master realm. But now, he was a martial arts expert at the master realm. According to this comparison of strength, it should be Miao Zhe who easily killed Xia Ping, but why was it the other way around? Nothing is impossible. Xia Ping looked at Miao Zhe indifferently. Do you think you can show off in front of me and take revenge after advancing to the martial master realm? You overestimate yourself. Outside, you were punched like a dead dog by me. In the Cloud Mist Mountains, it's the same. Miao Zhe, you only have this kind of strength. These words heavily bombarded Miao Zhe's heart, causing him to go crazy and stab at his heart. Aw! Miao Zhe went crazy and shouted, "Damn bastard, Miao Zhe, am a member of a royal family. I was born with a noble bloodline. How can a lowly commoner like you compare to me? How dare you say that I, Miao Zhe, am overestimating myself and calling me trash? How dare you, how dare you?" With a bang, he struggled out of the mountain wall and rushed towards Xia Ping. His whole body was like a poisonous snake. His body was bent like a spring, and he burst out crazily. In just a breath's time, he flew hundreds of meters and arrived in front of Xia Ping. Xia Ping didn't even look at him. He instantly attacked and hit the air in the air. Immediately, the air within a radius of 100 meters trembled. There was a faint roar of a beast that shook the forest. Dong! This palm ruthlessly slammed into Miao Zhe's body, instantly smashing him into the ground, creating a huge human-shaped crater. He lay on the ground like a tortoise, with dozens of bones in his body broken. Smoke and dust billowed. No, impossible. Miao Zhe's eyes widened as he struggled to get out. However, his body was being stepped on by Xia Ping's large foot. No matter how hard he struggled, he couldn't get out of the deep pit. At this moment, his heart had completely collapsed. It was fine when he was outside the Cloud Mist mountain range. However, after entering the Cloud Mist mountain range and advancing to the martial master realm, he was completely unable to do so. According to common sense, he was many times stronger than Xia Ping. But now, he was easily defeated by Xia Ping. Such a humiliating result was unacceptable to him. Have you thought about how you want to die? Xia Ping looked down at Miao Zhe coldly. Miao Zhe's eyes instantly widened, and his whole body trembled. How? What are you trying to do? Don't you know who I, Miaoze, am? If you dare to kill me, you won't be able to escape. You will die a horrible death, and no one can save you. His heart was filled with endless fear. Previously, he had killed countless people, slaughtering anyone he did not like. Relying on his status as a sovereign clan, he had been unbridled, thinking that he was born to be superior. But at this moment, he also felt the fear of death. His life and death were in the hands of the other party. Stop, Xiaoping, do you know what you're doing? One of the students shouted angrily. That's Miaoze, the heir of the Miao clan, a noble child from a sovereign clan. Have you thought about the consequences of killing him? Do you know how to write the word death? Miaoze's status is many times higher than a peasant from planet Yanhuang like you. Is he someone you can touch? Get out of here. If you dare to kill him, you will die too. The entire cloud realm will not tolerate you. Do you know that? 6 or 7 students shouted angrily, staring at Xiaoping and threatening him. Bang! Xiaoping slapped the top of Miaoze's head with a backhand. A terrifying power erupted, and with a crack, Miaoze's head was smashed into pieces like a watermelon. Miaoze did not even have the chance to let out a groan. He died tragically on the spot. Not even the gods could save him. Don't dare to kill him. Who do you think Miaoze is? If he says he doesn't dare to kill me, then he won't. If he dares to provoke me, even the gods can't save him. I, Xiaoping, have no taboo when it comes to killing. Xiaoping looked at the group of students indifferently. His eyes revealed a deep murderous intent. Do you think you can run amok just because you are from a sovereign family? Do you think you can threaten me and make me fear you? Now that I have killed him, what can you do to me? He did not even look at the dead Miaoze. It was as if he was stepping on an ant. Damn it, damn it. He actually dared to kill Miaoze. How dare he? This peasant from planet Yanhuang really has guts, a student shouted angrily. His eyes widened. He never thought that Xiaoping would really dare to kill someone. He killed someone without any taboo and even killed Miaoze. He could not imagine how terrible the anger would be if the Miao family knew about this. Perhaps the entire cloud realm would be shaken, and many people would be implicated. Kill him, kill this bitch, and avenge Miaoze. He's dead. This damn bastard is dead. After killing Miaoze, no one in the world can save him. He even killed the people of Aries College. If we don't kill him, it will be intolerable. 6 or 7 students were extremely angry. They watched Miaoze die, slapped to death by Xiaoping, and even his head was smashed into a watermelon. One could imagine the anger in their hearts now. They could not wait to tear Xiaoping's body into pieces. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant, 7 martial masters at the first heaven of the martial master realm attacked at the same time. The genuine essence in the air vibrated, and 7 big hands grabbed fiercely, trying to pinch Xiaoping to death like a mosquito. Dark North Body Protection Skill. Xiaoping stood in place, his hands turned into circles, forming the symbol of Tai Chi. A transparent genuine essence barrier blocked in front of his body, like flowing water. Bang bang bang. 7 genuine essence big hands grabbed fiercely and collided with this body protection skill. Immediately, a loud sound broke out, and the transparent barrier shook and collided thousands of times. However, the opponent's attack could not break through this barrier, and in the end, this force was fiercely bounced back. Ah ah ah. Immediately, the 7 students immediately let out a shrill scream. Their bodies were injured by this force, and their whole bodies flew out for hundreds of meters, and finally hit the ground hard. Each of them could not help but spit out a lot of blood and fell to the ground twitching. The severe pain spread around, which was several times more painful than a girl giving birth. Chapter 395. Damn it, how can this guy be so powerful? We're no match for him at all. If we stay here any longer, we'll die. Run, hurry up and run. When we leave, we'll find someone to take revenge on. If the news that he killed Miao Zhe gets out and the Miao family finds out, he'll definitely die a horrible death. The 7 students struggled to get up from the ground. They immediately knew that they were no match for Xia Ping. If they stayed where they were, they would probably be killed in a few breaths. Whoosh! 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 They looked at each other and quickly left in 7 different directions. As long as one of them could leave alive and send a message, Xia Ping would be dead for sure. These people were all determined to take revenge this time. They could not let Xia Ping go. You can't run. Xia Ping stared at the 7 students with a cold light in his eyes, revealing a terrifying killing intent. He knew that he could not let these students leave alive. Otherwise, it would definitely cause great trouble. He clapped his hand, and with a bang, a huge rock on the ground split into countless pieces. Then, he grabbed them with his big hand and threw them at the students. Supreme Hidden Weapon Cultivation Method, Head-Piercing 7 Arrows. Immediately, a tyrannical true essence wrapped around these stones. His spiritual will seemed to be integrated into the stones at this moment, and there was an incredible change. If Xia Ping had used the head-piercing 7 arrows before, these hidden weapons were like bullets. They were extremely fast, bombarding the enemy with lightning speed. But now, these hidden weapons seemed to be integrated with spiritual power. It was as if they were equipped with intelligent tracking systems. They could be controlled by Xia Ping at will as if they were his fingers. The power of this explosion was simply incomparable to before. It was more than several times more tyrannical. Hide! A student shouted desperately. He felt a fatal danger coming from his body. The other students also sensed the danger. Some of them slithered like pythons, some danced like butterflies, and some swayed with the wind like willow leaves. Everyone used their most exquisite footwork to try to avoid this hidden weapon. But it was too late. These hidden weapons were like tracking missiles. They captured the aura of these students. No matter how they dodged, they could not avoid this attack. Moreover, they weren't able to escape too far. In a few breaths, they were only able to escape more than 100 meters. However, the speed of these hidden weapons exceeded the speed of sound. With such a short distance and such a fast speed, how could they possibly dodge it? Xiao xiao xiao. In an instant, the stones arrived before the students. With a poochie sound, a stone tore through the air, carrying with it the power of Zhen Yuan. It easily pierced through the throat of a student, and a massive amount of blood flowed out, dyeing the ground red. His body fell to the ground, and his eyes were wide open with a look of disbelief. He couldn't believe that he had been killed from over 100 meters away. He couldn't even escape. 2 more pieces flew from the back, and with a bang, they instantly pierced through the hearts of the 2 students. Their bodies were blasted away, and they smashed into a mountain wall in the distance. 2 human-shaped pits appeared, smoke and dust billowed, and crushed rocks flew in all directions. The remaining 4 stones smashed the heads of the remaining students. They stood where they were, unable to move a single step forward. Their heads exploded like watermelons. One by one, they fell to the ground, turning into headless corpses. They died horribly. They're all dead. Xia Ping stepped forward and confirmed the condition of the students' deaths. He only relaxed after confirming that they were all dead. After all, if he allowed a student to escape and report back, it would definitely cause great trouble. At the same time, he felt a little emotional. After comprehending the power of Zhen Yuan, the head-piercing 7 arrows seemed to have become even more powerful. It vaguely possessed the supreme power to kill enemies from a distance. He wondered what kind of power it would have if he exchanged for the 3rd level of the head-piercing 7 arrows. Looks like I definitely can't show my true appearance in the Cloud Mountain range. Otherwise, I'll be restricted in everything I do. I should change my appearance. Xia Ping's eyes flickered. Through this incident, he knew that if he continued to act with his current appearance, it would definitely be very inconvenient. If he killed a few successors of the King clans, he would definitely incur the wrath of the King realm powerhouses. The consequences would be unimaginable. Right now, he didn't have the ability to deal with powerhouses of this level yet. If he changed his appearance, even if he killed those students, no one would know that it was Xia Ping who did it. Then, even if the King clans wanted to find someone to take revenge on, they wouldn't know who to look for. System: exchange for a human skin mask. Thinking of this, Xia Ping immediately ordered the system to exchange for items. The system replied, "Yes, host." With a clap, a human skin mask appeared in his hand. It was as thin as a cicada's wing. When he put it on his face, he immediately changed his original appearance and became a completely different person. Even the aura on his body had changed. It was estimated that even if his parents stood in front of him, they wouldn't be able to recognize him as Xia Ping. Such an effect was by no means comparable to that of an ordinary human skin mask. It could be said to be ingenious and exquisite. As expected of a human skin mask produced by the system. It's worth 1,000 hatred points. After wearing the human skin mask, not only did my appearance change, but even my aura changed. This way, no one will be able to recognize me. Xia Ping clenched his fists. Next, he also exchanged for some corpse-dissolving water and completely melted the bodies of Miao Zhe and the others. This way, even the gods wouldn't know who killed them. Even if those from the King clans knew that their disciples had died in the Cloud Mountain range, they couldn't come in to investigate because of the limitations of their strength. It could be said that these people had died in vain. TSK, I didn't expect these people to have gained a lot. Xia Ping also obtained 5 or 6 spiritual herbs from these people. These spiritual herbs were all grown in the Cloud Mountain range and were very valuable. A stock of such a century-old spiritual herb was worth no less than a profoundine pill. In addition, he also found more than a dozen dragon and tiger rui pills from Miao Zhe and the others, as well as some healing pills. These were all prepared for the exploration of the Cloud Mountain range, and now they belonged to him. After dealing with these matters for half an hour, Xia Ping felt that there were no mistakes and left the place. It won't be long before I head to the center of the Cloud Mountain range. I must find the water of life inside. Xia Ping had always remembered his true purpose of coming to the Cloud Mountain range this time. Chapter 396. Swoosh. Xia Ping used the Kunpeng steps as he sprinted. He was like a large bird, his speed as fast as lightning. Along the way, he passed by mountains, rivers, valleys, swamps, and other places. He ran for 2 to 3 days, covering thousands of kilometers, and finally arrived at the center of the Cloud Mountain range. This is the center. Xia Ping arrived at the center of the mountain range and immediately sensed that the center was surrounded by a mysterious power. An extremely evil demonic qi leaked out from the depths of the core, causing one's heart to palpitate. It was surrounded by a thin layer of energy barrier, like an eggshell, making it impossible to see what was inside. It was extremely mysterious. After several days, we've finally arrived at the center. This is the center of the Cloud Mountain range, the place that contains the water of life. I feel that this is the source of the evil qi. It seems to be suppressing countless evil demons. It's indeed mysterious. Let's not delay and go in to take a look. Don't let others beat us to it. At this moment, other than Xia Ping, some other students also arrived at the center at the same time. There were at least 20 to 30 of them. They looked at the energy barrier in front of them excitedly, eager to give it a try. Swoosh! Xia Ping didn't say anything and immediately walked in. Immediately, he felt that the space around him was many times wider. In front of him was an endless chain of huge mountains. Each of the mountains was at least tens of thousands of meters tall. They towered into the clouds and looked incomparably majestic. He knew that this was a strange phenomenon caused by spatial folding. The area here was many times larger than the outside world. It was like a small world. Moreover, the auras of these mountains were connected to each other, as if they were one. There was a vast power hidden in the air, like the power of heaven and earth, suppressing this area, making it impossible for any demons to leave. Spectacular, it's really too spectacular. I didn't expect the space here to be so huge. It's more than 10 times larger than the outside world. It's said that there are a total of 18,000 mountain peaks here. Every single mountain peak was moved here from another place by an ancient almighty being. They were placed at the core of this region, forming an unparalleled formation that suppresses evil spirits. Array? What's an array? You don't even know this? Array formations are a method that borrows the power of heaven and earth. You must know that all the energy in the world has its own unique meridians, and array grandmasters can see through these energy meridians and set up an array formation that resonates with the energy of heaven and earth, changing the energy meridians and displaying all kinds of unimaginable effects. Some magic arrays can increase the purity of energy and turn an area into a cultivation paradise. Some magic arrays can condense malevolent energy and refine weapons into treasured weapons. Some magic arrays can form a maze to trap enemies. Some magic arrays can attack enemies and burst out with world-destroying energy. A single wave can destroy a country. There are so many of them. Indeed, I have also heard of the profession of array master. However, this profession has a very high requirement for talent. Those without talent can't even enter the door. Everyone discussed animatedly. They were all shocked by the mighty power of the heavens and earth. 18,000 huge mountains were moved over and suppressed the energy channels of this region. What kind of power was this? It was simply earth-shattering. Even though the current technology had reached a level that was unimaginable to humans 1,000 years ago, it was still very difficult to achieve this. It was hard to imagine how powerful the human experts in ancient times were. Xia Ping also sensed that the array here was extremely mysterious and could not be moved recklessly. It contained a terrifying energy and was not something mortals could touch. Touching it would mean certain death. The problem is, where is the water of life? That's all I care about, someone asked. Many people nodded. Things like arrays were too far away from them. They still hoped to find the water of life. This was their true purpose for coming to the Cloud Mountain Range. It's among these 18,000 mountains. Its core altar is in one of the huge mountains. The problem is that the positions of these mountains are not fixed. They will change every once in a while, so there is no way to find them. Even if people came here before, they could not provide any useful information. We can only search slowly, someone said in a deep voice. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, "You must be joking. There are a total of 18,000 mountains here. If we search slowly, how long will it take?" The Cloud Mountain Range would have closed long ago. The other students were also dumbfounded. To explore the 18,000 mountains, even a year might not be enough. In just a month, they might not even be able to get close to the central altar. Moreover, I heard that each mountain actually contains a unique space with a large number of fiendish demons living in it. Once you enter, it will be very dangerous. If you are not careful, you might even die in there, a student said with a serious expression. It did not mean that there was no danger in exploring the mountains. Each mountain was equivalent to an alternate space with a large number of fiendish demons being suppressed inside. If you entered, you would definitely face the danger of dying. There is no other way. This is why it is so difficult to find the water of life. You can only obtain it by luck. Someone spread his hands, indicating that if it was not difficult to obtain the water of life, it would not be called a fortuitous encounter. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Suddenly, a terrifying aura came from afar. Immediately, a dozen or so Martial Master Realm students ran over and appeared in front of everyone. What? Immediately, the surrounding students became vigilant and could not help but take a few steps back. These people in front of them were all martial masters, but they were all at the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm and had not broken through to the martial master realm. Their strength was far inferior. Although many students deliberately stopped at the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm and did not break through, there were also some students who were stuck in this realm and could not break through. Even if they entered the Cloud Mountain range, they could not immediately become martial masters. There were many martial artists like this. At least 20 to 30 students who came with Xia Ping were like this. "Hello, everyone." The leader of this group of people, a man in green, said. He cupped his hands and said, "It is your blessing to meet us. Do you want to join us to search for the water of life? After all, there is strength in numbers. If we can find it, we can share the water of life equally and improve together. It is also a happy thing. What do you think?" He extended an invitation to Xia Ping and the others. Hearing this, many students were tempted. After all, if they could act together with martial masters, not only would it be more efficient to search the mountains, but it would also be safer. Chapter 397. Xia Ping was not the only one. Some of the students did not believe that these martial masters would be so kind as to join hands with them for no reason and share the benefits with them. After all, who would be willing to share the benefits if they could take it all for themselves? Did they really think that others were fools? There's no need for that, seniors. That's right. It's better for us to do this ourselves. People in the martial realm like us will only be a burden if we stay with you. That's right. We shouldn't hold you up. If there's nothing else, we'll take our leave first. Some students wanted to leave immediately and bid farewell to the man in green and the others. "Wait!" The man in green shouted. A cold light flashed in his eyes as he stared at the students who wanted to leave. "Why are you leaving so quickly? Don't you trust me?" A terrifying chill surged out of his body and enveloped the group of students who wanted to leave. "This is too presumptuous." A companion of the man in green also shouted angrily. "We martial masters are here to invite you to work together and obtain the water of life together. This is your honor. It's fine if you don't agree, but you actually dare to doubt us. This behavior is an insult to our character. If you don't explain clearly, don't even think of leaving." He took the opportunity to flip out and stared at the students who wanted to leave. "Senior, we didn't mean it like that." The group of students could feel the terrifying pressure from the man in green and the others. It was the aura of a martial master that could crush them. They could not match up to it at all. If these people exploded, they would most likely be in trouble today. "If that's not what we meant, then what do you mean?" The man in green stared at the group of people and sneered. "We are all martial masters. Our status is many times higher than yours. Now, we are taking the initiative to invite you to explore together and agree to share the water of life with you. Our conditions are so good. Yet, all of you are making excuses. You don't know how to appreciate favors. Tell me, is this behavior right? Isn't it very disrespectful?" Hearing this, the expressions of many students changed. These were harsh words. Normally, they would not refuse such an invitation. This was a benefit that was delivered to their doorstep. However, the other party was too powerful, and they were in a dangerous place like the Cloud Mist Mountain Range. They were naturally worried that the other party might be plotting something. This was human nature. "Alright, there's no need to say anything else. If you don't refute, I'll take it as you've agreed. Let's explore this mountain together and happily obtain the water of life. Isn't that a joyous thing? If anyone dares to refuse, then that's not giving us face, and that's equivalent to slapping us in the face. If you provoke us like this, then don't blame us for being impolite. Of course, if you agree to join us, then we will all be one family. If we find the life water, then everyone will have a share. You will all be able to advance to the Martial Master realm, or even the Grand Master realm. In the future, you will be able to stand out. The green-robed man stared at these students. His methods were both hard and soft. He gave a slap and a carrot, constantly dispelling the students' wariness and relaxing their hearts. It had to be said that his methods were very brilliant. If this continued, he would be able to completely subdue this group of students. Senior, I won't be participating in this matter. I personally prefer to act alone. At this moment, Xia Ping stood up and said to the group of people. What? Hearing these words, the surrounding students were shocked. At this time, there was actually someone who dared to stand up and fight for his life. Was he tired of living? Kid, did you eat a bear's heart and a leopard's heart? We've said so much, but you still don't know how to appreciate favors. You don't give us face and still want to act alone. Do you want to die? One of the companions next to the green-robed man was so angry that his face turned red. He simply wanted to tear Xia Ping into pieces. They used all kinds of means to subdue this group of students as their underlings and cannon fodder. Seeing that they were about to succeed, this kid actually dared to stand up, stir up trouble, be a thorn, and ruin their plan. One could imagine how angry they were now. They even had the thought of killing Xia Ping. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. Xia Ping was calm and composed. He stood with his hands behind his back. One by one, the experts of the martial master realm came here and wanted to invite us to be their companions. After finding the water of life, they even wanted to share it with us. Do you really think we're stupid? I've never heard of an elephant looking for ants as companions. Many of the students nodded. They were also suspicious of this point. One of these martial masters could beat 10 of them. Why did they choose to be companions and even split the life potion? Wasn't this pushing the benefits to others? If I'm not wrong, you want to use us as cannon fodder. Xia Ping stared at this group of people and said indifferently, it's said that among the 18,000 mountain peaks, there are a large number of fiendish demons living in each peak. It's very dangerous. Some of the mountain peaks have a harsh environment and dense demonic aura. If you enter carelessly, you'll definitely die without a burial place. Even the experts of the martial master realm won't be able to escape. I guess you're also worried that if you enter a dangerous mountain peak, you might encounter a terrifying threat. When that time comes, before you find the water of life, you'll lose your life. Therefore, you need some cannon fodder to scout for you and find a safe place. That way, it'll be foolproof. It can be said that if we follow you, not only will there be no hope of obtaining the water of life, but we might even lose our lives. Tell me, would we agree to be your cannon fodder? He succinctly stated the purpose of these people. His words caused the expressions of the surrounding students to change drastically. Previously, they only suspected that these people had ulterior motives. However, after hearing Xia Ping's analysis, they all understood. It turned out that they were planning to use them as cannon fodder. No wonder they were so enthusiastic and took the initiative to invite them to join and share the water of life. These bastards were too sinister. If they agreed, they would probably be in trouble. Shut your beak. A tall senior shouted angrily, you really don't know what you're talking about. A dog's mouth can't spit out ivory. Saying such unfathomable words to sow discord here, what are you scheming? We're kind enough to invite you to join us and explore together. Not only do you not know how to be grateful, but you actually want to smear our reputation. You really don't know what you're talking about. A student with a flat top revealed a cold gleam in his eyes. Everyone, I think this kid is very likely to be a demon in disguise. He's purposely lurking among us humans to sow discord. Why don't we capture him and investigate thoroughly? Chapter 398. The faces of the surrounding students changed. They immediately knew that the azure-clothed man and his group wanted to find an excuse to deal with Xia Ping, to kill the chicken to scare the monkey, and to frighten them. This was the so-called, the bird that sticks out will be shot. However, they were helpless. The difference in strength between the two sides was too great. Even if they were tied together, they would not be a match for these martial master level experts. I also feel that there is something wrong with this kid. We invited him with good intentions, but he is still here to refuse. This situation is very unusual. Even if he is not transformed from a demon, he may have a great relationship with a demon. You guys go forward and capture him. Let's see what tricks he has. He actually dares to say such disunited words. The azure-clothed man sneered. He stared at Xia Ping, revealing a trace of coldness. This kid actually dared to expose their plot in front of so many people. Was he courting death? If they did not beat this kid up to scare the monkey, their plan would be ruined. However, this was also good. After beating this guy up, the other students would know what to do. Otherwise, if a thorn jumped out one by one, it would probably cause great trouble. Kid, come here for me. With a boom, the three tall students had a ferocious smile on their faces. Their bodies emitted a terrible aura, and even the ground shook and cracked. The three of them grabbed with their big hands, and the air shook and an explosion broke out of nowhere. The faces of the surrounding students changed greatly. Their faces were as white as paper. Feeling the strong shock, the aftermath of the chi pushed them back dozens of steps, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. They were all shocked. The gap between the martial warrior realm and the martial master realm was too big. They did not need to attack with all their strength. Just the aftermath of the attack was enough to seriously injure them. Stupid. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He instantly made a move. A palm came down from the sky, and the mountain forest shook. It was like a peerless ferocious beast, and the air shook thousands of times. Bang bang bang. It was just a palm, but the terrifying pressure crushed down. The opponent's true essence big hand immediately shattered and was completely defeated. The terrifying power was instantly transmitted. The three tall students were immediately shaken to the point of vomiting blood. They were ruthlessly slapped to the ground like floodwaters bursting out of a dam. They didn't even have the strength to resist. With a cracking sound, the three of them were lying on the ground like turtles, forcibly smashing out a human-shaped pit. Dozens of cracks appeared on the ground, and they couldn't help but spurt out a large amount of blood. More than a dozen of their bones were broken. Following that, Xia Ping grabbed out with his hand, pulling the three of them to his feet. Stepping on them, he looked down at them and said, "You want to teach me a lesson with just this bit of strength? You're overestimating yourself." Ah! The three tall senior students were enraged, their hearts erupting like volcanoes, and they were ashamed to death. In merely a single move, they were completely defeated by Xia Ping, and they were beaten to the ground like dead dogs. Now, they were being stepped on by Xia Ping's foot, ruthlessly trampling on. This was simply a complete humiliation to them. They had no dignity left, and their self-esteem shattered like glass. Right now, they simply wanted to dig a hole and bury their heads in it, never coming out for the rest of their lives. This kind of thing was really too shameful. What? The man in green and the others were shocked because things happened too quickly. They had just made a move, but they were actually captured by the boy in front of them in an instant. They had no strength to resist. In just one move, he had defeated 3 experts in the first heaven of the martial mentor realm. This strength was so strong that it was a complete mess. Even the strongest among them did not have such strength. The man in green's face was extremely gloomy, and he stared at Xia Ping. "I really misjudged you. I didn't expect you to also have the strength of the martial mentor realm. You defeated my 3 companions in one move. You're really amazing. What's your name?" He kept searching for the names of all kinds of famous experts he knew, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not see the true identity of this boy. It was as if this boy had appeared out of thin air. But the problem was that a powerhouse like this shouldn't still be unknown until now. "You can call me Wu Wudi." Xia Ping's eyes rolled, and he casually gave a fake name. "Arrogant, too arrogant." I've never heard of anyone who dares to use such a name. Woo woody. Even a king realm expert would not dare to use such a name. This boy has really eaten the heart of a bear and the heart of a leopard. It must be a fake name. He actually dared to fool us. He really deserves to die. Hearing these words, the man in green and the others all flew into a rage, thinking that Xia Ping was playing with them. You hiding your head and showing your tail. Do you think that I don't know your identity by giving you a fake name? When I capture you, I'll soon make you pay. The man in green snorted coldly. Let's go together and kill him. With a clang, a dozen experts in the martial mentor realm immediately made a move. They pulled out a long saber from their bodies. It was extremely sharp and had a shocking aura, like a ferocious tiger. The saber slashed down, emitting rays of cold light. Each ray of saber chi contained a terrifying power. In the void, there was a roar of a hungry tiger, as if it was going to bite countless prey to death. This was the hungry tiger saber technique. They were all students of the same school and had also cultivated the same martial arts techniques. Their minds were connected, and when more than a dozen people attacked at the same time, the power was simply earth-shattering. It was as if more than a dozen hungry tigers were running out of the forest, or as if thousands of horses were trembling. The saber chi shook the sky, and the power was several times more powerful than a single person. Immovable Buddha's palm. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He stood where he was, took a step forward, and struck with his palm. Immediately, a huge golden light rose from his body, like gold, bathing in divine light. This was the aura of a Buddha, solemn and dignified, as if there was a Buddha singing in the void. A huge golden hand shot out, condensing into a solid substance, containing the power to subdue demons and demons. Bang! 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 The two forces collided wildly, and the air shook thousands of times. There was a huge explosion, and the surrounding rocks were shattered into dozens of pieces, instantly turning into powder. Trees were uprooted and cracked. The ground was also shaking, and more than a dozen shocking cracks appeared, stretching for 1 to 2 kilometers. Gravel flew everywhere, and dust billowed. In the distance, a group of students were scared half to death. This level of battle was not something they could participate in. All of them ran for their lives, hoping to avoid the aftermath. However, some students were very slow, and were instantly hit by the aftermath of this power. They were sent flying, coughing up blood in midair. They flew for hundreds of meters before falling to the ground.